Silent John incremental, another silent instrumental, the nerd rap existential. People compare me to MC Christopher a lot, but the fact is I predicted with significance. I'm the oldest geek rapper by far, save K and R, compiling kernels, open bracket, cause I rack it. And my teen nerds throw your laser pen in the air and wave it all around like you had no repercussions. Now follow instructions, Professor. Why these discussions consist of nothing but incoherent rambling and babbling, but you just still take notes cause you never know what's happening. I'll drop a little nugget, a tidbit if you will. There were 4 United States presidents named Bill.
Really?
If you run out of hit points, the game will shout.
Your life force is running out.
If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. Let me start again, put it on like a cardigan, swinging like my name was Mad Mardigan, which reminds me, Warwick Davis was Willow and a Newok, Leonard Nimoy was Galvatron and Spock. That ain't typecast, I don't know what is. Talk about predestiny, nobody gets the best of me. I've only played one role my whole lifetime, the nerd lifeline, stream through a wicked pipeline. So no one can buy mine, cause mine is original and I write rhymes to burn on a CD, play in the mini V. Soccer mom, yodel back, yodel at little me. I got a sidekick, I gotta stay connected. Watch out for my decom or you'll get infected. And you don't wanna be one of my bots, cause I see it all like Saw on the Cyclops. And I won't hesitate to drop your whole net block if you're acting up and you're dumber than a pet rock. I'm about this nerd life, as you can see, spreading like a virus on MP3.
On MP3. STC. Shoutouts to Vic, Agnostic One, up and Silent John. Yeah. Nerd Life, Graphing Calculator, HP48G. The G is for gangster. Digital Stip, yeah. You know how we do.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD, and of course, I am joined by my right-hand man, Blinded Braille. What's up, Blinded?
What's up, everybody in the chat?
It's been quite the week. We had the big Slopes Amico video drop.
Yes.
We've had some inter-panel fighting.
Oh, no. That I'm not aware of.
What are you talking about? You were taking part in it. You were on Twitter getting into it.
Oh, right. Okay, never mind. I thought this was something else.
Gerald of Detroit.
Oh, wow.
So, how's your week been, Blinded?
Besides whatever catastrophe was that new Marvel movie, it was pretty good. You know, I played games, watched movies, worked, played pool, hanged out with friends. So yeah, it was an okay week.
So what are we like in the sixth week of the year, something like that?
Yes.
So
sixth, seventh.
Have you beaten 6 games yet? Are you on track?
I'm on 7 games right now.
Oh, 7.
Yeah.
What's 7? Could you share with the class?
Well, it's Ace Attorney, so it's, you know, not too gamey, but like I haven't played this series, so I wanted to try it, and I got really addicted to it. So I've been playing that, and I'm still waiting for Metroid Prime, the remaster, because I never beat the original. I just played it, so that comes out next week. So that's more of a gamey game.
So you beat all of the Ace Attorney? What the hell did you say?
No, I was just playing through the first one. But yeah, the second one, I have the second and third one. It's like a trilogy. It's like a remaster.
Okay, but what have you beaten?
The last game that I beat was Super Mario Land 2. That was the last game I beat. That was on the Game Boy because it recently came out. So that's number 6.
I'm gonna need a ruling on a game, and you're the only one here, so maybe you can.
A ruling?
Because the Hitman 3,
mm-hmm.
They recently changed the way it is. Because
Yes.
you got Hitman, and you got Hitman 2, and Hitman 3, and then it became Hitman World of Assassination.
hmm
And then they kind of folded in the Hitman 1 and 2 stuff.
Yes.
So now, does that count as 3 games or 1 game?
Because they like merged it all together, right?
Yeah.
If it's merged all together, then you might have to count it as 1 game. Because I thought it was just still separate.
Well, it's you go to the campaign, right? It'll say story.
Yeah.
Hitman 1 stuff, Hitman 2 stuff, Hitman 3 stuff. So it's separate by like, but they're in chapters.
But they're in chapters. Maybe you could, because last year I played the 3D World and I separated the two because I felt like they were so dramatically different. 3D World and Bowser's Fury, so they're kind of like similar, but not really. Yeah, I guess you could. I mean, the thing is, like, we can kind of loosen up the rules a little bit because there are some games I haven't played in years, but I want to go back and play. So I know that was supposed to be against the rules. We can't play games that we didn't beat, but
it's against the rules.
But
mine is legitimate because Hitman came out as a standalone, and Hitman 2 came out as a standalone, and then Evil couldn't take the mental gymnastics. Yeah,
you were arguing with him about this?
No.
Okay.
He was just listening to us argue.
Okay.
It's like every week someone comes up with a new, like, well, what if,
Oh, no.
on 2 different platforms. Like, if I beat the PlayStation 5 version, but previously beat an Xbox version, does that count? It's like, no.
Well, how about if it was a remaster? Because I seen them talking about that. I'm like,
It would have to be significantly different, I would think.
So then it would just be a remake then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I never beat Resident Evil 2, so I'm gonna play that game pretty soon.
Like, it is. I was gonna say, are the Resident Evils? Do they call them remasters or remakes?
They're remakes, but they're more like reimagining because they change a lot of what happened in those. It's just 2 and 3 right now. I don't know about 4, but they changed a significant part of the game, like story wise and gameplay wise.
And they censored the butt, so I mean, there's that.
No, but I hope Resident Evil 4 they change some stuff around because that's coming out next month.
All right. Haunted Wiz says I almost beat Sly Spy. He's gonna catch up with you guys on the Evercade.
Oh no!
A game I just recently beat caused so much controversy on Twitter. If you're not following Blinded Braille, Gary, the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and the rest of the crew on Twitter, you're missing some of the greatest drama, shitposting. Just
so much chaos happens on Twitter.
So much. All because Gary was complaining. He was saying how hard first off, Gary was saying that his games are going to be harder than our games. The games he beats are going to be significantly better. Like, we're going to compare lists at the end of the year and like, your games are shit and my games are like legitimate, real tough games, right?
Mm.
So he started playing Castlevania 3 and he's complaining. He was complaining how hard it is. He's all over Twitter like, oh, it's so hard, yada, yada, yada. And so I said, I got the Castlevania collection. So I started playing it. I popped up a screenshot like at the very beginning of the game. It said, hey, this is the next game I'm going to beat, Gary. And that was like 3 days ago at this point, 4 days ago.
Yeah, it was like 3 days ago or something.
I popped it up. And, he's like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 good luck or whatever, right? And then Retro Bro chimed in, oh, he's going to quit. When he gets to death, he's going to quit. He's going to be out. So then I beat it. It was like 2 days after I posted I was going to beat it. I beat it. And I posted the trophy to prove that I beat it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, Gary and Blinded have just butted heads into this like huge argument.
Thread of just, I have no clue what happened.
What happened was you were like, uh-oh, Gary, looks like Tony beat it. You got to go into hiding. Just kind of poking fun at Gary. And apparently this set Gary off into this huge tirade. And my God,
It was an epic chain of tweets.
It was, and I wasn't even paying attention because I was streaming with Hammock Man, and then next thing I know, I look on Twitter and I'm like, oh my god, I got all these fucking notifications. What's going on here? And man, people insulting people personally. It was rough.
It was rough.
Yeah. And the first tweet you put down was oof. All you did was put oof.
Yeah, I listen. I saw that and I just thought it was funny because I'm like, oh man, isn't this supposed to be a hard game? And he beat it in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
I really wasn't thinking. I wasn't there to, piss off Gary or anything like that. So I mean, he was saying that I was putting words in his mouth, which come to find out, yes, I was, but I didn't know. Like, it wasn't like me intentionally doing this to like throw him off. It was genuinely, I thought he had said that, but apparently it was not him. It was Retro Bro or someone. So I even thought he said it in the chat too. So I was looking through the chat and no, he didn't say in the chat. So it must have been Retro Bro's comment I was looking at, because I was like genuinely confused. I was like, I honestly did thought he said that. So
Mitty says you really touched Gary's nerve. You did.
Yeah. And I was trying to back out the whole time. I was like, listen, Gary, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to set you off. I'm like, hey, it was just a joke.
You're like, you kept surrendering. You're like, it's over, Gary.
I was like, I'm a dumb fuck. I'm like, I'll just say whatever.
No, I'm not letting you leave. It's like, oh shit.
Looking back, yeah, we're gonna probably laugh at that. It was like,
oh my god, y'all playing old man games? Starting Sony Spider-Man on Steam Deck. I beat Sony Spider-Man. I beat that not last year, the year before.
I beat that 4 years ago now. Holy.
Well, I got it when it first came out. I started playing it, then I stopped because I got bored.
Mm.
And then I eventually pushed through and beat it. And then I went back last year and I beat all the DLC, the City That Never Sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
But I started like the same thing with Miles Morales. I started it, and then like it gets kind of repetitive, and it's like, but yeah. So then to add salt, because I knew Gary's nerves were touched. Right before this stream, I went ahead and beat Castlevania 3 a second time.
Oh my god.
With Silva, and I posted that up on Twitter.
Big oof.
Because the first time I beat it with Alucard as the helper,
and
this time I beat it with Silva. And he's like, because Gary's first thing is, I'll pull it up since we're talking about it. We might as well, right?
Might as well.
It is so yeah. So that's me. Castlevania 3 beat. Tag Gary. Add obsessive compulsive. That's it. That's all I did. Oof from Mr. Blinded. And then Gary. I don't believe for a second you beat the game in a day and didn't use a walkthrough. This game is about memorization. Damn near impossible. He beat the game playing blind on Alucard route after a few playthroughs. I don't give a fuck how much skill you have. It is not. Okay, so Gary makes it sound like you need a walkthrough to like figure out which way to go. You don't, right? It's like you go right to left or left to right, right? It's not a complicated thing. You can't get lost in Castlevania, right? It's not like you can keep circling around because you're going the wrong way. Like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was going in circles for 4 hours, right?
Mm.
And if you're good at the game, like if you beat it, I think it's like 6 hours or 4 hours. Like,
yeah, it wasn't long. It's not a long game.
It's just hard. It's just, and a lot of it is there is luck, where the like the Medusa heads spawn or the bats. And there were legitimate sections where I was having trouble. I was telling this to Hammy yesterday. I'm like, there's a section right at the end where you got to walk over these stones, right? You got like a stone walkway, and there's 2 dragon head skull like pillars, right? So the first one that you come up, it starts shooting from the top head, and you could walk and whip it. You could whip the fireballs, and then the floor starts giving way. So you got to be fast. but because you're standing up, it's easy to go, right? You can move around.
Yeah.
And then so when you get to the second one, it's shooting from the bottom head. So now you have to duck, and you can't walk around, and the floor is still giving way, and there's spikes underneath, and then every once in a while a bat flies in, right? So this shit is fucking hard, and I kept dying.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I just said fuck it, and I jumped over, hit the fucking pillar, and then you know how you get knocked back from like the pushback or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So I got pushed back, but I got pushed back towards the door, and then just went into the door.
It's a door.
Well, I beat that screen. Like I sacrificed 4 units of life to get past that screen.
Oof.
And then the next screen has a turkey leg, chicken leg, whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, so basically I went up to Dracula with just missing 4 units of health.
Ooh. God damn.
Yeah, and then that one, like, so the Dracula fight, everyone thinks it's like real hard. It's not. Like, okay, so at the beginning of the Dracula stages, right, you can get the axe. Recommend you get the axe. Right? Don't if you accidentally get the dagger or the holy water, right? Because there's a holy water in the middle of the stage, and there's a dagger right at the end before Dracula. Don't get those. Right. So all you gotta do, the first Dracula, if you stay within a certain distance, it makes the 2 pillars of fire real big, right? Then you just time it and move out of the way of the 3rd pillar of fire, and you just keep whipping his head. It's like 3 whips. Wait a half a second, move. You avoid the pillar. He teleports. You get out the way. Maximum distance. It makes the 2 pillars, and you just repeat that till he's
repeat
dead.
it. Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes like this big mass of heads, right? It's like 5 or 6 heads. And all they do is they drip blood down. So as long as you're not underneath it, you're good. And don't run into it, right? And if you have the axe, when it goes above you, you could fucking axe it. And you get, as long as you don't waste the axe as you go through the level, right? You should have enough to take it out, take out the 2nd form. You get to the 3rd form, it's just a statue. Stay in the corner. Right? You stay in the corner and you jump forward, throw an axe. This causes because it shoots laser beams. So like the first laser beam should go where you're at. You move, you jump, throw the axe. So then the 2nd laser beam catches you when you jump. So it tries to go sideways. So then you just let it go over your head, jump again. And you just keep repeating back and forth. You move back a little, jump forward, move back a little, jump forward, throw axes. You should have enough hearts to throw all the axes, kill Dracula, no problem. But apparently, you know, skill doesn't matter, and I'm terrible. Bob tried the same shit. Remember Bob?
Yes.
With Hades?
Yeah, with Hades too. Yeah.
This game's real hard. You're never going to beat it. And I was like, okay, like after a day, I beat it. I was like, I flipped it once, and then I think it was like 4 or 5 days before I flipped it 10 times and got the 10 times ending. I was like, it's really not that hard once you know what you're doing. Blinded said, Gary, you might need to go into hiding now. I think that's what set him off.
Yeah. Unknowingly. That was a big mistake.
Said, why? Because Tony says he must be telling the truth. Get the fuck out of here. I like how you just automatically believe he didn't use a walkthrough. No proof of gameplay, so it's hearsay. In the U.S., blinded, that wouldn't hold up in court. Sorry. Actually, it would hold up in court. I have the screenshot of me beating it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell him. I'm like, there's the proof right there, right? If there's any other proof that he used a walkthrough, we would have to wait and see.
Yeah, Gary's making the accusation. The burden of proof is on Gary. All I said was I beat it, right? And then Gary accused me of using a walkthrough. He says burden of proof is on Tony. It's really not. I'm saying you made a lot of assumptions about me believing Tony. I didn't even say anything besides a joke. But where's the joke, Blinded? You're making it seem like Tony did some kind of magic. If I looked up a playthrough, I could have very well cleared it in a few hours. I'm not saying we can't use a walkthrough. The joke may have to go into hiding because he beat the game. You said he couldn't. It's a jab. That's it. It wasn't supposed to be serious at all. I don't know why. Have you played NES games, Blinded? Blinded. Have you ever played an NES?
I have no clue where that came from. He probably meant just Castlevania, so I was like, okay.
His kids must have been like on his nerves that day.
I got on his nerves.
The game
That's
spawns issues around every corner, causing deaths left and right. It cheeses you no matter how good you are. You're not fooling anyone who has played this game going in blind. Blinded says, I have played NES games. I only played Castlevania 1. I never made any claims about the game. I don't know. You could be right. He could be right. I just see the current evidence that's in front of me. If new evidence comes out that contradicts what he says, then I will agree. Evidence? Is that Canadian logic being used here? Well, I
don't know where that came from.
In Canada. What fucking evidence? There's only a claim and a trophy. That doesn't prove anything you're arguing. It 100% proves that it's a game. That's all anyone's ever said.
This is where I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm just like, what?
Yeah, Gary, when you beat a game, you get a trophy. Hence it being evidence for beating a game. If there is evidence that he used a walkthrough or cheated, then I can agree with you. Again, let's put a pin in it and agree to disagree because I'm genuinely not trying to piss you off. How dare you not try to piss him off? No shit, Sherlock. I was earning trophies on 360 when you were in diapers, kid. But thanks for reminding me what he posted. I don't know why is now he's jabbing at your age. If you don't want to piss me off, don't put words in my mouth.
Keeps going.
I mean, I was out of diapers when the 360 came out, but you're close to just a few years off. Next time I stay in my place and acknowledge I'm a dumb fuck Canadian, my apologies. No, next time you talk shit, back it up with receipts, which you're still avoiding to do because you know you're wrong. You admitted you're wrong. I don't know how much more Gary wants. The gotcha moment doesn't quite work until you prove what you're saying is true. Therefore, the original oof comment has no bearing on this conversation. So the oof set him off. Don't oof Gary. Don't ever oof him.
Even though he was already tagged in it, I didn't tag him.
Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm a dumb fuck kid from Canada. Here's the thread. I thought you made a comment. There's no mention of what I thought you said, so I will take your advice and the insults for the mistake. Bad take. I didn't call you that, and you're going too far with it. Just make sure you're 100% before coming at me like you came at him with an oof. It's my defense mechanism, bro. Again, it wasn't anything personal. I'm just defending what I know to be true. I don't. And there's so many like extra tweets in here that I'm not
there's so much other stuff.
Regardless, I'm sorry. I just wanted you to chill once I realized I was wrong. Trust me, I really did though. I really did thought you said
that was
like that in a joking way. I don't mind the insults. I need that thick skin anyway. Lol. Then I just chimed in. See, this is like so much later. I was just like, it was Retro Bro who said I would quit after reaching death. That's it. But you guys, this is funny.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know what the hell these guys were going at it for.
I have just no understanding. Why did I have to make that oof comment? Good Lord.
This is like when Bob would go off when I would mess with him about winning Street Fighter.
And
he gets so mad. I'm not mad. Like, dude, you're clearly mad. Stop being mad. It's okay. We're just playing. Other than that, my week has been super awesome. I mean, I got name dropped in a Slopes video that has over 100,000 views. We got plenty of new subscribers.
Yes, indeed.
Of course, YouTube's got a new boss, so we're going to be making some fat stacks pretty soon.
On that NFTs, though.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was funny. Oh, what the hell was that?
I was burping. I was holding it in. And
it just came out. Good Lord, sounded like some monster coming out.
It was. That's what I drink. It's all I drink exclusively.
Oh man.
I mean, other than that, I mean, what else has happened this week? We're working on some deals to get some guests to come in. I'm still in the process of trying to 100% corroborate some evidence against Thomas A. Tellerico.
Oh yes, that's gonna be
huge accusations, and they require actual proof.
Yes, they do.
Right, and so that's how serious. Like, I know I joke a lot. I know I'm not known for the serious, but this is like this is so serious and such a matter to not be joked about that I'm almost considering just giving it to Peter, right? Because like, you're more legitimate journalist, and you don't have connections to all this, and also I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
This is so wild that I am 100% sure when we put this out, if we get the evidence, that we will in fact get sued by Tommy.
Oh my god.
This will bring Tommy out of hiding, guaranteed.
Yeah, this is some big, disgusting stuff. This is just
Beefy Bites is rolling in fat stacks of $0 from YouTube. I mean, the shorts are now eligible for monetization. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, but isn't it like some crazy amount of views though?
Yeah, but it's all cumulative. That's what I
okay.
think people don't understand that, right? So even if say this video only gets like 30 views, right? That 30 is added to the rest of your views, right? It's like a cumulative thing. It's not like, well, this video made no money, that video, right? No, it's like, and sure, you're going to make more money the more views you get, but you're still going to get something. That's why we've made, I think, this month. Like, if you look at it, individual videos, it'll be like $0, but then if you look at the overall for the month, it's still like $30-$40. Let me see. Peeling back the curtain.
Exposing the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, so for February, so far, we made $21. In January, we made $42. And like I said, you can see like a lot of our videos didn't get that much as far as like views. But like I said, it's like a cumulative thing. Also, apparently, we're limited on advertising for this video right now.
Oh, wow. Something we said already?
I guess. I've double-checked.
We said fuck at the beginning?
No, we played the song for like 2 minutes. That's why we played the music. I put
maybe they caught on.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to listen after the intro. And then flag him. Yeah. Can never win.
Never win. Does Tommy even have money to sue? He might. You never know, right? You never know. He has David Perry in his back pocket still. So this is, I will say this, right? It's not just going to be Tommy that goes down if this evidence comes forward, and because there's a lot of people who know about it, who've known about it, who've covered it up. This is I don't want to say Epstein levels of cover up, but this is like the video game equivalent. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But onward and upward, we got a lot of things to cover. We're going to be talking about Witcher 3 vagina mods. What?
Vagina mods.
We're going to talk about Square Enix and their blockchain video game. It sounds like a freaking mess. Microsoft Gamepass confirming that it's pretty much been eating into their sales. They're not making the money they should be.
Exposed.
We're going to look at some games done quick. They got a new list of disallowed games, and it's very, very interesting. And of course, I gotta let you know what 8 games I have beaten so far because I'm on track. I've beat Mega Man 1, Mega Man 3, Mega Man 4. You're probably wondering why I skipped 2 because Mega Man 2 is one of the only games I beat as a child.
Mm.
Of course, I beat Pumpkin Jack, Maneater. You saw both of those on stream. I beat Neptunia, Cross, Senran, Kagura, Ninja Wars. It's kind of a shitty game. I was disappointed. I beat Mortal Kombat 11. And when you say, how did you beat Mortal Kombat 11? Well, I beat the entire story mode, the entire Aftermath story mode. And then I got every single characters, including the DLC characters, arcade ending.
Damn.
So, and then, of course, Castlevania 3. So I'm on track. I'm on track to go ahead and hit that 52 by the end of the year. Worse than that, Mitty. Worse than that. I don't believe you beat Mega Man 3. Do I got to show proof? I'll fire up the PlayStation and show you the trophies. No, I don't play NES games. I have the Mega Man collection. I actually have all of them. I have the Mega Man Collection 1, Mega Man Collection 2, the Mega Man X Collection, the Mega Man X Collection 2, and the, what was it, Mega Man Battle Network?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what they call that collection? And I got Mega Man 11. So, I got it all. Stream that shit. It's not really that fun. Those kind of games, I got to concentrate, right? Because, like, or else you're going to see me like evil, like, oh, fuck, just like throwing controllers on and shit. I want to see
silence.
Yeah, or it's going to be like silent. Like, Mega Man Battle Network on GameCube is crazy. Is it? That's what I'm looking for. He's looking for silence. Maybe. We'll see. Tomorrow, I was supposed to stream Hitman 3 today, but I ended up sleeping in late, and I ended up playing it on my own. That game, oh my God. So they got this new mode in Hitman 3. It's like Hitman 3 Freelancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a single-player, roguelike campaign thing.
Yeah.
So basically what it is, like you're a freelance hitman assassin, and now there's like all over the world, anybody could be a target because everybody's evil, because there's an evil network of bad guys who are like recruiting maids and like lawn care specialists and fucking garbage men to do shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the premise. So like you and like one of the levels might be like you're in a neighborhood and you like go to someone's house and like fucking kill like a gardener or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's because it's random and it's because it's roguelike and all that. It puts you into situations like it ends up spawning me onto a tower, and at the bottom of the tower was a whole bunch of guys looking for me. Right. And I was like, well, how am I supposed? There's no way for me to get down the tower, like, because it's just a ladder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went down the ladder and I slid. And as soon as I hit the bottom, like, everyone's like, look, there he is. They started shooting me. I can't do it. There's like nothing for me to do, right? And I guess probably because you can buy different weapons because you have to build up your money and spend your money to buy like weapons to take on missions right? So it's probably like, well, if I had more money, then I would have been able to like prepare better and then have better weapons and then maybe have something to distract them when I could have got down the ladder, right? But because I just started playing, I didn't have nothing. So then I ended up losing, and then it takes half your money and then all of your supplies that you had with you on the mission and throws them away. Like, oh, that's all that. So it's frustrating. This dude can't even beat Airman. No, you're using the rewind. Nobody. I beat that shit legit. It's hard. Mega Man 1, it was actually really easy. I was surprised. I was shockingly surprised at how easy it was because I remember playing it as a kid. Because Mega Man 2 is like the first game that I ever bought. right? Because you would get presents
Mhm.
from people. You'd presents for your mom, a Christmas present, Santa. But I remember Mega Man 2 was the first game that I bought with my money. Like I had money, and we went to the store and like whatever you want to buy, get the game you want, right?
Mhm.
And I saw Mega Man 2, and I don't know what it was about Mega Man 2, but I saw it and I was like, I want this game. I want this game. And I bought it, and I even bought the the little strategy guide that came
Mhm.
with it. It was like a little blue and had like a really big fucking spiral. Like, it was almost like a spiral notebook more than an actual book, and had like a little fucking thing on it.
Mhm.
Like I would just sit there and read it for hours, right? And I could never beat it, right? I could never beat it. And it was like a year after I bought the game. I was by my cousin's house. The cousin lived down the block, so I brought over a couple of video games.
Mhm.
Playing Mega Man 2, and I don't know what it was, but I was in this fucking zone. And I fucking went from the beginning of the game to the end of it. I just fucking beat it in one sitting. It was like a massive, like 6 hour fucking Mega Man 2. And I was like, oh my God. It was like, never again. Never again. So then
Wow.
after that, I was like, oh, I want to play Mega Man 1, right? Because it's like I never actually played Mega Man 1. And I ended up renting it from like a video store. And that shit was like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. I was like, this is hard. And I would actually buy and rent the Mega Man games, like 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I never actually beat any of them.
Hmm.
So Mega Man 2 was like the only one I beat. Then I beat Mega Man X. And I only beat Mega Man X because there's a Hadouken in the game. So if you get all the items, and then you get all the extra shit, and then you go to
Mhm.
it's like one of the armadillo stage or whatever. At the very end, you have to make this jump, and then there's like an extra ledge that you go up. And then you got to do that like 4 times, and then on the 4th time, a special capsule comes out, and Dr. Light's like, "Hey, here's a Hadouken." You're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" Right? So if you have full power, you can fucking Hadouken shit,
Mhm.
and it's like a 1-hit kill. So all the bosses like, so then you take it to the end of the game, and you beat Sigma.
Just beat everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you have to have full power. So if you get hit once, so it is a little balance, right? Like if you get hit once, you can't do the Hadouken anymore. And
Mm.
it still has to hit them in a spot where they're vulnerable. So like, you can't hit them like say in the leg if the leg isn't like a hitbox.
Mhm.
So it's still a little strategy, and you still got to know what you're doing. But that's
Hmm.
the only time I beat it. You beat Castlevania 3 like Destiny FOMO beat Battletoads. Did she beat Battletoads? I don't know. I don't watch Destiny FOMO videos. I have Mega Man 2 complete in box. I think I still probably have it in the garage somewhere. Not complete. Not complete. I own
Mhm.
Mega Man 4 and 6 only from childhood. But yeah,
I need to play Mega Man.
I love Mega Man games. And that's funny because I do like genuinely enjoy Mega Man games and Mega Man style games. And the fact that I've only beat 2 and X. And
Mm.
no, I didn't beat Command. I got close to beating Command Mission, but I didn't beat it. And I beat Legends. I beat Mega Man Legends, but I don't think that really counts because it's like a completely different style of game.
Yeah, it is.
I own Mega Man 2 complete in zip file.
That hard drive. Oh man.
So yeah, so I'm actually glad that they have the collections and stuff because I can go back and beat those games and play them.
Yeah.
That's why I got the Castlevania collection because it's another good. Like I played it as a kid and never beat it. We used to always try to beat Gauntlet as a kid. That was a big game that we'd always try to beat and never could.
Hmm.
Contra. Me and my brother would fight, right? Because we'd be playing Contra. Like, oh shit, you died! You fucking idiot! What are you doing? Like, no, don't get the spread shot. Oh, I needed it. What the like? We'd be arguing with each other, like fighting.
God damn.
My fondest memory as playing video games was playing with another person in the room as we're fighting over Contra. Never beat Tyson, right? So there's probably a lot of games I got to go back and beat. But I've played. I want to say if you really break it down, probably like 80% of all NES games I played
Mm.
as a kid. I say 80% of all U.S. released. Let me clarify. All U.S. released NES games, I probably played as a kid. 80%.
How do you play at 80% as a kid? Your parents buy you everything?
No, because I had games, and then like my cousins had games.
Oh, okay. Okay, that
And
makes
the
sense.
kids down the street had games, so it's like if I didn't have it, someone else had
Someone
it.
else did. Yeah.
Or I would just go rent it, right? Because when I was a child, we had things called video stores, and you'd go there and you'd rent for like $2. You'd get a game for the weekend.
Yeah, I think I remember those. Yeah, I'm joking. I've been to one when I was like a young kid.
I did beat DuckTales. I beat DuckTales before my older brother, and he was pissed. He couldn't figure out the end with the magic mirrors. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a DuckTales 2. DuckTales is one of my favorite games. I love fucking DuckTales. I love the show. And I think it was like 2 years ago, I finally found out that there was I was like, there's a DuckTales 2? It's like, what? How did I not know this? I love fucking DuckTales as a kid. How did I not know there was a sequel?
That was on the NES?
Yeah. It's fucking...
Did they remaster that game, or did they just remaster the first game?
They remastered just the first one.
Okay.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the art style, and it's buggy. They added like a little I'll say like a prologue level to it. And then some of the other levels have like a little additional things. I don't like it. It's not as good. It's not as fun. But I can go back. Like this is what Gary doesn't understand. And I don't know if it's just me or if everybody, but I have a really good memory for certain things. Right? Like if I turned on DuckTales right now, I could go through the levels and I know where all the secrets are, right? Like I don't have to look it up. There's no walkthrough. Just you go up there, there's fucking extra diamonds. You go this way, there's fucking hearts, there's a fucking cake over there, there's a fucking ice cream cone. Right? I know where all the shit's at. I can just play it. Yeah, autism intensifies. Exactly. Just memorize that shit. So that's probably what helped me with Castlevania, right? Like,
yeah, possibly. But then they're gonna, what they're gonna argue. It's not fair.
It's not fair. I have an advantage. I admit it. But,
Tony the Raid Man.
In some respects, I am. When it comes,
that's a good one.
I wish I could apply it to other things, but it's only like a very narrow. Yeah, 40 years game experience.
Someone's got to recommend me some old games because I want to go back and play games I never played at all.
Like what kind of old games?
I mean, I guess I'll probably start with Mega Man game, but like, I don't know, a list of games that you probably liked. I'll take whatever recommendation if I can get my hands on it.
Well, I just say what kind because I mean like.
Oh, like genre wise?
Yeah.
Like for me, I mean, I like platformers a lot, so I'll take those first because I won't say that they're easier, but like I just enjoy playing them. Like I can play them mindlessly and then just kind of beat it quickly.
Why do I have 61 notifications on Discord? What the fuck is going on?
Trike.
Christ. I guess I have to look that up afterward. Try Kirby? No, never.
I like Kirby. I mean, it has to be games that are non-Nintendo because I played most of the Nintendo, older games on the NES and Super Nintendo. So
you mean like not first-party Nintendo?
Yeah, it would have to be like second-party or third-party.
Well, I would recommend Power Blade. I don't know if it's Power Blade 1 or Power Blade 2. Let me look it up real quick. Power Blade 1. I'd recommend that. The sequel is not as good.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
For like SNES, if you're gonna play some SNES games, there's a game called Zardion. It's like Xardion. It's where you got 3 different mechs. Like one's like a lion mech, one's like an alien, and one looks like a Gundam almost. It's a side-scrolling shooter type game.
Let me see.
That one's good. Shakan the Forever Man, that's a great game. Hard as fuck, but it's good. Power Blade was tits. I hear a lot of people say Vampire Survivors is good. I haven't played it. Adventure Island, that whole series, fantastic.
Wait, Vampire Survivor, as in that new,
Yeah, that new one.
the new one. Yeah, I played it. It was. I mean, the thing is, it's kind of like, it's a mobile game, right? It really feels more like a mobile game because you're not really doing much. You're just sort of like avoiding shit and trying to build up your arsenal. I mean, it's fun though. It is addicting, but yeah, can't play it for like very long. Only like short bursts.
And just so you know, Blinded, I was gonna say Gary. If you play Adventure Island, you can't play Wonder Boy. They're the exact same game. Okay. Even though that they have a different skin and they have technically a different story, it is the exact same game. Adventure Island #1, the first Adventure Island, is a port of the arcade version of Wonder Boy, but with different graphics because for some reason they licensed the game, but not the characters.
Oh.
And that's how Hudson Adventure Island series. It just took the gameplay from the original Wonder Boy and just kept expanding upon it. And then Wonder Boy went off into a completely different direction with their games. But yeah, Adventure Island series is definitely a great one.
I'll check it out.
I mean, I would almost say Adventure Island at certain points is like the precursor to the Endless Runner. Because once you get on the little skateboard, just basically go forward. Fire up that Steam Deck. Nah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to buy Steam Deck this year because I'm gonna play some games on the go.
Like what?
There was some games. I forget the developer, but they did Dusk. I really like Dusk. It's like kind of like a boomer shooter, kind of like Doom and Quake. And so they have a lot of games that are, I think it's just on Steam. They never came to Switch or consoles. So, and I just thought, I'd probably play better in a handheld than just playing it on PC. So I kind of want to try it out.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen this game before.
But everybody should play Dust. That game's amazing.
I was gonna say I don't like the art style of this. I don't. I was never into that whole like Quake, or, Doom.
I love those games. Yeah,
I'm not a big. It's never.
But like Dusk is kind of like it starts off like that, but then it slowly becomes like a horror game where there's more jump scares. Like enemies stalk you, they come around the corner. It's a little bit mixing of genres toward the ending. But yeah, it's a really fun game. There's so much like versatility in the game, like movement. You could do like backflips and shoot people. It's just so fun. Yeah, it's very smooth too.
56K says Steam Deck is the new indie game machine now. It pretty much is. And I always said that was the best use of it. Because you don't want to sit down on a little screen to play Spider-Man. To play Spider-Man or Hogwarts Legacy. You want to see that shit on a nice big screen, fucking 4K, best resolution, relax. Steam Deck is for on the go or for you're laying in bed or a game you don't really have to think about, like an RPG or something. And not like one of the new ones with all the good graphics, but like an old one, like a turn-based. I just bought Bastion the other day, as a matter of fact. It was on sale. PayPal decided to give me a whole bunch of credit, so I was like, hey, I can use PayPal credit on my PlayStation. I also have the entire Yakuza series.
Yakuza is so weird to get into. I struggle getting into it.
I like it. I just end up getting distracted with all the side shit.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember playing it and they're like, oh, you can go into this little Sega Land thing. and they got the little crane game. I'm sitting there for hours playing the crane game
Oh
inside
my
Yakuza. Like, oh shit, I just got it off. And then I look
Wow.
at it, then I'm like, oh shit, I just spent 4 hours
Playing it.
playing a
Oh
crane
my
game
god.
inside Yakuza. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Wasting my time. What am I doing with my life?
Yakuza it's like that with all their games though. It's like there's even if it's the main stuff, it feels like a side thing. Where it's just like they push it to the side and then they spend way too long on something. You're just like, oh my god.
I'm at the karaoke bar, like, hell yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think that's probably the problem with the Yakuza for me. There's too much stuff and there's too much side shit. And it's like, I also hate games, and they need to stop doing this, but I hate games where they put missable missions, right? Like oh, if you don't do the side mission now, then you're not going to be able to do it later. So you can't go on to the next chapter. If you go on to the next chapter, and we're not going to tell you when the next chapter happens, it's just going to happen. And you're like, oh, fuck, all those missions that you didn't do? Now you can't do them.
That seems really weird because I feel like I haven't encountered a Western RPG that was like that. Like usually it's just like decision making you would lose out on, or like a different path, but not like a whole mission.
Yeah, Yakuza does. I think at the end they're like, okay, now that you've beaten the entire game, you can go back and get them. But I don't want to do that at that point, right?
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
So we'll see. But let's get into some news. It's almost been an hour, and we haven't actually gotten to any news.
Damn.
Blinded's too busy talking our ear off.
Are you sure about that? Yeah. What's the first news story?
The first news story is Witcher 3 Vagina Modder claims CD Projekt Red used mod without permissions. Updated story. This is obviously from Kotaku, our good friends. The modder of the Witcher 3 studio added their Vaginas for Everyone mod. Maybe that's what it was because I said vagina. And they're just like, hey, you can't say vagina on YouTube.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The vulva saga continues. So for those of you not aware, The Witcher 3 has a mod community, and one of the mods was called Vaginas for Everyone, in which they put vaginas, very detailed vaginas, I might add, with hair and different on all the female characters, even if you couldn't see them, right? Even they would be hidden underneath the dresses and everything, but they're there. They're there. So there's apparently some enemies in the game, some female enemies, where they had vaginas, right? Because you could see like their legs, but there was nothing there originally. But then with the mod, you put the vagina on it, right? So apparently what had happened was some other modder had reached out to the vagina mod and was like, hey, I want to use your mods for my like monster HD update mod or whatever, right? Never got a response because the vagina modder guy, he quit modding. So the other guy's like, well, fuck it, I'm going to use it anyway, right? Even if you never answer my email. So he made this mod. It was like New Monsters or something, right? So then CD Projekt Red contacted this guy and was like, hey, we want to use that monster texture mod, right? He's like, yeah, no problem. But CD Projekt Red didn't realize that the texture mod for monsters used the vagina mod for the monsters that were female to give them vaginas. So they put the mod in the game, and then someone noticed, was like, wait a minute. Some pervert noticed. He said, wait a minute. These vaginas.
Some pervert.
He got to be a pervert because he's like, these vaginas look like the other vaginas from my other vagina mod. And he matched. He said, these vaginas are identical.
Dedication.
It's dedication. And so CD Projekt Red has eventually removed the vaginas from the update.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it was an HD Monsters rework mod. But that's you got to pay attention. You can't just do things, right?
Can you blame them though? They weren't perverts.
No,
if they were perverts, they would have known.
Yeah, they were trying to like, oh, this is a good this improves our monsters. Let's take this mod. Is it okay? Like, yeah, but that guy was like, he didn't tell them about the vaginas, and that made a whole snowball. And like I said, for somebody, the dedication to be able to look at that and go, I recognize that vagina.
Yeah, that takes work.
It takes a lot of work. Lips in 4K, exactly.
No, man.
But now it's all settled. Now it's all a situation.
I can't believe that was a news story.
It's a slow news week. It's a slow news week. What can I say?
So random. Like, what a weird events.
Speaking of weird events, Square Enix has a blockchain experience. Symbiogenesis has been revealed.
Oh God.
This
company is going down the drain every day. It's so sad.
From Eurogamer. I was so pissed. They had Dragon Age 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they added something extra to the Nintendo Switch version. And then they sold Dragon Age 11 again on PlayStation. Full price for the added stuff from the Switch version.
Wow.
And I was like, why couldn't you just make a DLC? Like a $10 DLC to add the shit in, right?
They want that double dip. Square Enix.
I luckily, because it's on PlayStation Premium, I got the updated one. It's actually not a bad game. The worst thing I can say about that game, the Dragon Quest series as a whole, it's too much fucking Dragon Ball Z art. Too much.
Like, you mean just like the art style?
Yeah, because it's the guy who does Dragon.
Yeah.
Toriyama does it, and it's like he has one style. And it's like it's Dragon Ball, like, right? Like
the characters all kind of look the same.
Yeah, they all have the big fucking Goku hair. Or they look like Trunks, and it's like you could literally take like a Dragon Quest character, pop it into a Dragon Ball Z episode, and you'd never know. Like,
oof.
Like, because it's completely consistent. Like, he's so consistent in his art, and it's beautiful. But because Dragon Ball exists, it takes me out of it. Right? It's like
they should have like told him to differentiate it a little bit.
Yeah.
Different hairstyles.
Props to the article writer for using the clinically correct term vulva. There isn't really enough use of the word vulva. If you add vulva.
Wow. Just wow. Okay.
Have you ever seen that episode of Seinfeld with that?
Which episode?
There's an episode where Jerry's girlfriend, he doesn't remember her name. And he's like, he's trying to figure out, and she goes, well, yeah, don't you remember? He's like, I told you about how I was making fun of as a kid because my name rhymes with a female and female. And then he's trying, like, he's going over, like, trying to figure out, like, what is it, Melva? It's like, it rhymes with vulva, Mulva. He's like, they're like, no.
So, oh man. So the word is just weird. Oh
okay.
Man.
Yeah, Mova.
Mova.
And that's what he guesses. He's like, Mova? She's like, no, my name is Dolores. He's like, oh, rhymes with clitoris.
What a stretch.
Yeah. You guys start being more careful with those oofs.
That's my catchphrase. If I don't say oof, I don't say anything.
Yo, Tommy, a quarter every time you say oof.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's go. Symbiogenesis. Details of Square Enix's Web3 blockchain experience, not game, experience. Symbiogenesis has been revealed ahead of its launch this spring.
Wait, it's not a game? It's an experience?
It's not a game.
Fucking hell.
When you read the rest of this, you're gonna be like, oh my god. The project was first announced last November as an NFT project to mark a new franchise. At the
Oh,
start of this year, the company once again stated its intention to release blockchain games. Now we know what Symbiogenesis will be: an interactive Web3 digital collectible art experience
good lord.
on the
Good
Polygon
lord.
blockchain. The description continues. As per press release, Symbiogenesis will offer a unique experience built around digital collectible art that is tied to the storyline players will unfold in a virtual turn-based adventure.
Oh,
The art evolves with each strategic move a player makes. The project is set on a mysterious floating continent where unique storylines unravel based on information obtained by holding digital collectible arts that represent different characters. Players can unlock numerous engaging stories about this secretive world and its inhabitants by holding or trading digital collectible arts and can earn them by completing various missions. So, in order to play the game, that's not really a game, you need to collect the art that's not real art, that's NFTs. And then you have to trade them in order to unlock more things.
oh, what a. This is obviously going to bomb.
Big time.
Like, I don't even know. Okay, why would you want to spend time searching for these art cards?
Because
And
it gets better. Players can also replicate and sell digital arts for their character, sharing their unique storylines with others and working together as a community to complete the mission. So it is an interactive experience among lots of players. Further, with regards to specific NFT usage, players can use Polygon NFTs as utility items and freely trade them within the ecosystem. NFT collectibles can also be used as profile pictures and other ways by examining the world and finding various items. The NFTs allow players to access secret stories as holders can determine if they want to keep the secret or share the information with others. People can find things and then keep them, and you'll never know that part of the story because an asshole has kept that part of the story from you.
yeah, what? So, in other words, people are collecting, and if they're not trading, then the game just dies. Like, no one can play the game. So, they're going to have to balance that somehow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And it has multiple endings?
Yes, and it gets better because the game will have multiple endings, although only 3 players meeting specific conditions will be chosen to participate in the final world mission to decide the fate of the world and its inhabitants.
Oh, that's just great. So you got to win a lottery to control the world, get the correct ending, or choose your own ending. Oh my god.
Who knows?
Oh. How okay, I just want to know, how do they determine like there's a market for this? Like, oh man, people are going to eat this shit up. Like, there's no game that's like this currently. It doesn't sound that appealing. And who exactly are you trying to sell this to? You're trying to sell it to the people who are already deep into this NFT crap?
Bullshit.
Yeah, like how is anybody who knows nothing about NFTs going to be like, oh, I should play this and waste all my time and energy into this crap? Like, what are they thinking?
They're not. They want money. That's what they're thinking. NFTs were hot. They want money. That's it.
I still don't even see how you can. Where's the money going to come from? Just like maybe like when it first comes out, but over time, this is obviously
where's the money going to
flop.
come from? Well, here's where it's going to come from. I 100% guarantee they're going to make at the beginning of the game, right? When the game first launches, it's all going to be free and everything, right? But eventually, they're going to charge you to mint NFTs, right? Whether it's, you have to use 3 crystals to make an NFT. Oh, but where do you get crystals? Well, you got to buy them, right? Or they're going to make like, every time you trade, you're going to have to spend a crystal. It costs a crystal to trade. Right? It's not free trade anymore. And again, now you have to buy crystals from our marketplace.
Good Lord.
Because they're not gonna. It's not gonna be like you're just minting NFTs and trading for free. There's gonna be transactional cost in there.
This is just okay. And then what? I'm gonna have to look. They don't even say the platform it's on. So
it's a Web3 game.
It's a Web3 game. Well, obviously, I don't even know what the hell Web3 is. So it is. I mean, oh my god. You're gonna have to Google this and like tell me because I'm like this. This doesn't make any sense.
Web 3.0 is a concept. It's not a real thing yet. It's like decentralized internet with blockchains.
Okay.
It's the next evolution of the World Wide Web.
Okay. So where can I play it?
On the internet. In your imagination.
No, boy. Imagine they said that. Oh, jeez.
Remember the Polyum system?
Yes, that piece of crap.
That's what it was going to be on too, on Web3. Web3 is the crypto stuff. If it's on the blockchain, it's Web3. Yeah, it's Web3. I got people skills. I'm good with the peoples.
I am not good with the peoples. I have no clue what any of this shit is.
If you remove the blockchain from this, it would be a fun time to exploit people's art. It would. I don't think NFTs have no business in gaming. First
at
off,
all.
NFTs don't have no business at all. But I mean, if you want to spend your money on bullshit, who am I to stop you, right? As long as you understand it's bullshit and you're not getting swindled into thinking you actually own the Mona Lisa and you realize you just own a digital receipt for the Mona Lisa, right? As long as you understand that, I'm cool with it. But this has no business in gaming, right? There's no practical function for this. Anything that you can do in an NFT, I've heard a lot of people go, well, Tony, NFTs allow you to trade. You can trade items. No shit, you can trade items without NFTs. They had marketplaces on different MMOs for years.
Yeah.
Before NFTs existed. You don't need an NFT to track that Tony has now sent blinded 13 gold for his sword of fucking stabbing, right?
Well, what I've heard, right, and this still doesn't make sense. It's like NFTs in gaming would work where you can bring an item from one game and put it into the other game. And so, you know, you're kind of buying something that works with all these games, but they still need to program that thing into the game. So it's almost like, well, wouldn't that create balancing issues? And how would the developers even get it into the game if you own it? Like, I don't know. It does not seem practical at all. And to be honest, not interesting. It's really not interesting. I don't think anybody cares to bring one item from a game to the other. Like,
well, it would work. It would work if it was like cosmetics, right? So if you could take your character, this is the only way it would work. Like, so if you could take your character from, say, World of Warcraft and then NFT it and then bring that into EverQuest so it looks identical, right? Then maybe that would make sense. But like you said, any weapons that have stats, any armor, all that, you can't be bringing that over from game to game.
No,
like,
yeah.
Oh shit! I just brought my Call of Duty bazooka into fucking Monster Hunter, and it's fucking wreck shit. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. They're never gonna program that, so it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, this whole idea of NFTs in gaming. It's like, of course, it's a money making thing. Like, because you guys haven't said the reason of why anyone else should care about this. Like, it's just so sad and pathetic. And it's sad that Square Enix is like, just like double downing. Yeah, like, what is, like, why jump on this? Like, just because it's trendy, sure, but not every company is jumping on this, right? We're not seeing Capcom and Nintendo and all these other Japanese companies be like, oh, we need to jump on NFTs because it's hot, right? So it's probably, they got financial issues, obviously. So
it's the Square part. It's not the Enix part. I'm pretty sure it's the Square part.
Yeah.
But like I said, realistically, all the only benefits that NFTs have can also be done without NFTs, right? So there's no unique benefits. And again, if you want to be able to trade digital items, you don't need a blockchain to do that. You don't need NFTs. The only reason to have blockchain and NFTs is say, oh, if the servers go down, right? If the servers go down, then I'll be able to have a record of this. So when Blinded makes a private server, I could bring my stuff over. But if in that scenario is so limited and so small in scope, right?
Yeah.
It's like a very unique niche thing that's going to happen. Again, if a game wanted you to be able to trade items, they could do it. They could just unlock that feature, right? They could put a marketplace. They could put an auction house. You know, they could say, oh, okay, you want to farm, you want to be a farmer and then sell your crops to another player. They could do that. And they could say, oh, it's going to charge you 10% of that sale is going to go to the game. So you lose 10% of the, you know, if I sell it for 100 gold, I only keep 90, 10% of the gold just disappears. Right? But they don't want to do that because they don't want you to have that ability. That's the whole point. Because again, balance of the game. Because if I'm able to sell items to Blinded, then what's Blinded's incentive to play the game? When he could just buy everything, right?
Yeah.
And then you end up with issues with people buying shit offline. Like, oh, send me $100 on PayPal and I'll fucking sell you my crop, right? And they don't want that. That causes all kind of other issues.
Yeah, this whole thing is too complicated. It has no purpose. It doesn't even really help gameplay, right? If it was like, oh, this is gonna like change a specific genre or whatever, right? Maybe, but like so far, it's again, this is all just money making. How can we milk the consumer? And this seems like a test. Like if this works on a small scale, then maybe we could put this in our JRPGs, right? Like the next Octo's Path Traveler will have this garbage in it, right? Okay. Which I hope, I hope that doesn't happen, but that's what it seems like, right? A test.
Yeah. Same company who said Tomb Raider selling 5+ million is still a financial loss. Well, it is. It is and it isn't. It's like I said before. It's expectation and return on investment, right? So they say if the game takes 3 years to produce and we put in X amount of money, we need to make Y amount of money at the end. If we don't make Y amount of money, is a flop. We could have just took that money and put it in the bank and probably, made
just sat on it.
Yeah. So that's the issue. It's because games take so long. It's no longer like I say, hey, I want to make a new Tomb Raider game, and then like 3 months later, it's on shelves, and I'm getting money back. No, I'm waiting 3 years. And if I'm going to wait 3 years for my money back, I better be getting a lot of it, right?
Yeah. I also think Square Enix, too, is like, in terms of their franchises, they don't really have a lot, and they're not really experimenting. They're just sort of like, okay, where do we get the next lump sum of money, right? But it's like, well, you have to try to innovate, right? You can't just be putting out Final Fantasy all the time and then expecting different results. It's like, well, it's already established franchise, right? Like, I don't understand why they're just diving into this. It's so ludicrous. Like, what the hell?
So random. I mean, they do have a lot of franchises, though.
They do. But I mean, like, in terms of, like, they're obviously trying to chase the success of, like, Epic and all these other companies that have made these free-to-play games, right? Obviously, they're not doing this blockchain stuff, but it seems very similar to that, where it's like, we need to have something that is ongoing, that people will constantly invest into. But you haven't made anything that was good enough for people to invest into. So it's like, I mean, you shut down that Babylon game that only came out a year ago, and it's already gone.
Yeah, but it was crap to begin with.
Yeah, it was crap. Well, that's what I mean. Like, make a good game, and then people will invest in it. Well, you got to try.
They did try it. It turned into crap.
They're not. Listen, they're not trying hard enough. I know it's hard, but like, you gotta just either invest in something very small, and build it up. But like, you can't just be doing this. Whatever this is like gonna ruin their reputation. It's gonna continue, just like everybody's gonna remember this, especially if it's just like everywhere on the news. Like, man.
Yeah, I
Oh man.
remember in the 16-bit era, if a game said Squaresoft, I was getting it. I was like, yes, Squaresoft. Now it's like, oh, Squaresoft? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Yeah, they're just so all over the place. Oh my
like,
god.
Like which section made that? Was it Square or Enix? No, Square. I don't know.
At this point, they should just get bought out. I don't know who should buy them out, but it should be divided up or something. Because I don't want it to be like, oh, Sony just takes it and then Sony just sits on all these other JRPGs because Sony doesn't care about that genre, right? So, I mean, and they still make games for Nintendo, but yeah, this is just a sad state.
I mean, we need a new ActRaiser game. They gave us the remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
That wasn't that great, but they need a new ActRaiser game. I know they're coming up with a new Bubble Bobble. They do own Bubble Bobble because they bought out Taito. They got obviously all the Chocobo stuff, the mystery dungeons and all that shit. They need a new Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
I liked Chrono Cross, but it doesn't hold a candle. Chrono Trigger is one of the best RPGs of that genre, of that generation, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites. Obviously, they got the Dragon Quest series. EVO, a lot of people don't realize this, but it actually is a series. The EVO, Search for Eden, that was on SNES, is like the second game in the series. So they got to come up with more stuff in that. That was actually a pretty unique concept. Take a creature, build it up through points, evolve it in different ways, and go through the different eras. They come up with a new elevator action. Front mission. There's always that.
Yeah, they can do front mission. That would be interesting.
Gex.
Oh. I mean, they might as well just start licensing out some of their franchises. Because I don't understand why they're just sitting on it. Same thing with Konami. What's the?
Well, Konami makes all their money off of the pachinko machines. They license their stuff to pachinko.
I know, but I mean, still, it's just they just don't care anymore. They're just like, okay, we need to sustain this company, and it just feels weird. It's not sustaining in a way where it's like, oh, we're gonna try to help the industry and help ourselves by trying to put out something that we know people will buy. We're just gonna chase whatever works.
Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, I mean, they do have that new Kingdom Hearts in development.
Oh god, I haven't played the third one yet. I haven't. I played the first and the second, and then I didn't play any of the in between schools. And so I gotta go. I have all of those again because of the PlayStation Premium. I can go back and play them all. They got it to the Lufia series was good. I don't know why they just stopped doing those. The Mana series, those were good. Parasite Eve, that was a fucking dope series.
Yeah,
3 games and that was it. What else we got? The Ogre Tactics Ogre series, Ogre Battle and all that. Those are good. Apparently, they own Space Invaders.
That's interesting.
And then obviously Final Fantasy, everything connected to Final Fantasy. And then all the Dragon Quest stuff, all the stuff from Enix. They had Legacy of Kain. They didn't do nothing with that. They had Tomb Raider. We seen what happened with that. And they had Hitman.
They had all of Eidos games like Deus Ex, and they just got rid of all of that.
So we'll see.
Uh,
But this Symbogenesis is going to be a community building and trading. It's going to be garbage. It's garbage.
absolute garbage. Dumpster fire. Can't wait to see that the headline for that.
Eating Pace said Lufia died on DS. It was made by Natsumi. Yeah, but it was published by Square.
Hmm.
The last decent Lufia was on the Game Boy Color. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D is coming out. I didn't know that. And there's tons of other great Square stuff on the Switch. There is.
Yeah, there is. There is. Yeah.
Octopath Traveler 2, Triangle Strategy, Deal Field Chronicles. Isn't Deal Field multiplat?
That one is multiplat, I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, Octopath Travelers is also multiplat. Triangle Strategy is exclusive to Switch. Yeah, Bravely Default 2, that was only on Switch.
Yeah, okay. So Octopath Traveler 1 was on the Stadia, Xbox One, Switch, but it wasn't on the PlayStation. That's what it was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I think the sequel is the same way. I don't think part 2.
That's not coming to PlayStation.
I don't think it's on PlayStation. Let me check. I'm looking it up right now.
That's weird because I thought there was just like a recent article talking about how it doesn't even sell well on Xbox. Like Xbox is kind of like begging them to put it on their platform, which is weird.
I think they just want to be able to say, look what we got. We got RPGs. Okay, so Octopath 2 is going to be on PlayStation.
Okay.
That's coming out in February 24th.
Next week, I guess.
Right around the corner. I still got to beat the first one. I actually liked, oh my God, I loved the way the first one looked. But it was on the Switch, and I just can't fucking bring myself to play the Switch. It's like...
It did look very good.
And it was actually recommended to me by the guy who made Fox and Forest. Rupert. Rupert's like, hey, you should play Octopath Traveler because it's really good. I'm like, you know what? I was looking at that, but I will.
You probably might like Bravely Default too. I mean, the first one's on the 3DS, but the second one is on the Switch. But you don't play Switch.
Same thing with Triangle Strategy. It's a Nintendo Switch, Microsoft Windows exclusive. So.
Oh, that one was on. Oh, okay. Thought it was only on Switch, but yeah.
No, I think it was on Steam. I know it says Microsoft Windows, but I think
PC.
Yeah, PC. What's the other one? Diofo? I think that one's.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on PlayStation.
Yeah, that one's on PlayStation. I don't know why. All these, all I play is Switch and PC. I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I want to play the Switch. It's not the controller. It's just I don't want to play. Like, I don't want to. What it is? There's some like mental block that's like having to go because I use my PlayStation for watching Netflix and YouTube and everything, and then to like, oh, now I got to get up and hit the button. It's because I got the little switcher for like because I have like all the PlayStations and then the Switch connected to it. So I have to get up and hit the little thing that now it's like number 2. And it's like, I'm so lazy. I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, Live Alive is another game you probably might like.
I played it when it first came out.
When it first came out?
Yeah. See, you might not know this, Blinded, but Live Alive, it was one of those games that everybody always talked about and everybody always wanted to play. It had never came to the States. So somebody actually did a translation of it, and there was a ROM. It was one of those games where like the ROM was everywhere.
You're telling me you played a ROM?
Yeah, back in the old days.
Back in the old
back in the olden times.
So yeah, I guess old Tony wouldn't do that though.
Well, because it wasn't available. You couldn't get it.
It wasn't available.
It wasn't. You couldn't get it.
I know. Yeah.
That was one of my that's one of my caveats. If the game is unavailable in your region, right?
Well, I hope. Speaking of that, I want them to put Mother 3 on the Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna happen. Just feel it. Makes
it was
sense.
Live Alive and the was it Sin what the fuck? You know, the Mana series. What the hell's that one? The third one that just came out, like Trials of Mana. Forget what the hell it's called. And it's got a weird Japanese name. What else? Let me look it up. Trials of Mana was originally called Seiken Densetsu 3. That was another one that was like, everyone's like, oh my god, this game's so great. You gotta play this. So there was like a ROM, the translated ROM out there. And I played it. It was actually pretty good. So yes, 2 games that I played on ROM back in the old days. And yeah, the third one finally came. Yeah, see. But that was only back when I was younger and before I became a journalist of the gaming variety.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
There was a time when I had on my old laptop, I had everything. I had the NES emulator, the SNES emulator, the Sega CD, all the way up to like PlayStation 1, I think. But then at some point, I was like, I don't need these old games. Because then, I had emulators. This is like years ago, obviously. Obviously, this was years and years ago. I don't recommend you getting emulators. But I had them, right? I was like, oh my god, I can get emulators on my laptop. Fuck yeah, right? I'm downloading, and I would go to. I recommend don't going to Vim's basement or Vim's lair. One of the two. Don't recommend going there, but so I would go, and Vim's lair. Don't go to Vim's lair if you're trying to get emulators and ROMs. Avoid that place at all costs. So, right, I would have it, and I had all the ROMs for all these games, right? And then I just never played them. I'm like, why do I have this NES emulator, and I just never playing them, right? It's like
you're just there, just have it.
I just have it. I'm like, I'm still playing my PlayStation 4, my PlayStation 3. I'm like I would go, like I would play, like, oh shit, I'm gonna play fucking Zelda. Like 10 minutes later, I'm like, why am I playing Zelda when I could be playing fucking Skyrim? Like what the fuck am I doing?
God damn.
You can't go back. I don't know. For me, I just can't go back. Like I tried the emulators when I was a younger man. I even the like playing the Castlevania was kind of a pain in the ass. The Mega Man. Like it's just, I want the modern, the benefits.
The feel of it.
Not just the feel, but like there's certain things, like the ability to turn when I jump, right? Like I'm just so used to that.
Oh yeah.
Like Castlevania is such a pain in my ass.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the thing is, like,
you wouldn't steal a dead body, but you'd steal a game from a dead system. Well, that's not a dead body. You wouldn't steal a dead body's arm, but you would steal a game for a dead system, right? That would be more of an equivalent. Who wouldn't steal a dead body? Eating paste says I can go back easy. I can't. I just can't. Like, there's certain things in modern games that are just convenience. So, certain UI things, certain, characters moving faster, right? Like,
yes,
some of the old games are like, oh my god, everything moves so slow. Like, fuck.
I think that's like the biggest one where I'm like, oh, it's just way too slow. Where you're like, go faster, fuck.
Yeah. PlayStation 1 games, oh my god, loading. I don't know how, as a child, I would sit there and like you go through a door and it's like a 45-second loading thing, and you're like, this is fine, right? Like now I'm like, oh my god, fucking yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit! Don't go through the door. Oh fuck! I went through the door. So
someone
terrible.
someone needs to like outline like all the fucking frustrations of old games because I feel like people just completely forget. It's just like blind nostalgia.
Well, it is because again, when we were there, like when you were there playing it in the moment,
Hmm.
because it was you're used to it, right? It was the norm. There was no like going about it. It's like old internet, right? You would turn your internet on, and you were just used to it, right? You're like, fuck it. 45 minutes later, you're connected to the internet, and you're like, yeah, that's fine, right? This is how the internet works. Now it's the internet. If I go connect to the internet and it takes more than a second, I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Page didn't load? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
In the old days, I would watch the page load pixel by pixel. Click, 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 click. You start at the top. 15 minutes later, you're like halfway in. You're like, hell yeah, the page is almost there. This one aged like milk. It did.
Yeah, I did. That's why I highlighted this. It did. I can't go back. I mean, the N64, I feel like age. I mean, it's still aged like crap, but I prefer the N64 over the PS1. Maybe that's my bias, but yeah.
I think that's going to be the same thing with the Switch. I think because the Switch is a less powerful system, they're not pushing it as hard,
Hmm.
right? And so certain things are going to age better because it's like how they say, oh, you just put in an Atari game and it just turns on, right? Put it on.
Hmm.
You start playing Pong, right? Like Pong is not the greatest game, but it's instantly there, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's how the Switch is going to be. Like where like you're playing, it's instantly there. Like I'm playing Hogwarts, right? And it's fucking beautiful. Got the ray tracing. It's got the fucking 8K. Fucking it's giving me hand jobs while I'm playing it. But when I go through a door, it's got a fucking 13-second loading, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Mm.
Why is it loading? Why does it? I understand that the world is like beautiful and it's like huge and gigantic, but why does it take 13 seconds for me to go through this door?
I don't agree with this. I do not agree with this at all. That Metal Gear Solid is one of those games that needs to just be remade again. That game did not age well.
I've never played Metal Gear Solid.
It I tried playing that recently. No. I need a remaster for that.
I played
Or
the
a
original
remake.
Metal Gear, the NES Metal Gear.
No. Mm.
There's a lot of games like that. Siphon Filter.
Yeah. It's that early 3D games. I mean, I feel like the Nintendo ones, like they are not great, but like for me at least, I can play them. Like it's just the Ocarina of Time. Like once you get to some temples, you're like, oh my god,
Eating Pace says hard disagree. Hard.
Oh man, nah. Listen. When they come out with a remake anytime soon, you'll see it'll play significantly better. And I mean, it should be obvious, but yeah.
It's like I played the original Resident Evil, right? Tank controls and everything, and it was fine. And I played it and I enjoyed it and I loved it. Ever since they got rid of tank controls, and that was no longer a thing. And then you try to go back and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like this how did I play this as a child, right? Like this doesn't even make any sense. That I have to like turn my entire body and then move forward, and I can't move on angles and I can't run.
Yeah, it is weird, yeah.
So that's my rant on video games. Get off my lawn.
Shouldn't it be the other way around? Because you're complaining about old games.
Get on my lawn. Get on my lawn. I don't know.
I don't know how that would work.
I think a lot of people have nostalgia goggles, and they get that feeling. And I've heard some people with the Amico where they're like, "Yes, trying to capture that feeling," and it reminds me of a kid. And I'm like, I guess I can't do that. I don't have that ability.
I think that's weird though, because there's games that I feel like when they're remade 1-to-1, but they're improved, they're more the ideal version of it. Like again, Ocarina of Time, it plays much better on the 3DS because they obviously saw the flaws of the N64 version and was like, okay, we need to fix this. So, I mean, like you are, if the game was just remade or like slightly tweaked, I'm sure it would be significantly better and you could play the game. It's just that obviously they're not going to do that. You know, it's just cost too much and they're not going to get any money out of it unless it's a popular game, of course.
Yeah. All right, give me Sea of Stars over any modern game. Sea of Stars is a modern game, though.
Yes.
People got to understand this. Pixel art just holds up. It does. It does. If a game is made to emulate an older game, right, it's still a modern game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why Fox and Forest is the perfect example. They tried to emulate older games, and they went too far with it. They emulated not just the look and style, but they also emulated the limitations of older games, and that's what hurts you. You got to emulate the look, the style, but forget about the limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kaz and the Wild Mask. Okay, if you loved, I'm going to make a review of this eventually, but if you love Donkey Kong Country, and of course you do because Donkey Kong Country is fucking awesome. Right?
Yes.
So if you love Donkey Kong Country, you're going to love Kaz and the Wild Mask because it is almost a 1-to-1 Donkey Kong Country experience.
Mm-hmm.
It plays exactly like a Donkey Kong Country game, except it's more modern. It has the look, has the feel, but it's also has the technical improvements, right? As far as, you know, the way the characters move, the animation, how fast it is, how quick, how the levels are, the saving, the you know, all the improvements that you want in a game. That's what it is. It is fantastic. It has some flaws in it, though. I'm not gonna like say like this, you know, because Donkey Kong Country is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that game holds up. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I still think I just don't understand that why people don't want it to be just like slightly tweaked with better quality of life improvements. It's like it just will make the game more playable, in my opinion. Like you can't go back to certain things. I'm sorry.
David Levy says, for me, the Sega Dreamcast is the graphical cutoff point. From that console onward, nothing that looked good to me at the time looks bad now. Less good than what came after, obviously, but not bad. I don't know. When did the GameCube? There's some GameCube games that look bad. There
is some, yeah.
I think that the issue is, and I know I stutter a lot. I noticed that, but the issue is that we all think of the best game on the console, right? We're like, oh, we're thinking of the Sega Dreamcast or the PlayStation or the GameCube or whatever. We always think of the best game or the best games on the console. And it's like, oh, look, it still holds up, right? So the Dreamcast holds up because the best game on the Dreamcast holds. No, you got to look at the crappiest game. Go, okay, that was crappy then, but damn, it looks like shit now, right? Like, it is a raging dumpster fire. And I think that you got to get both of those extremes and then go, okay.
Compare it, yeah, like find the average, I guess, yeah.
Because there was some bad games that are like, oh, you know, you dealt with it, but you realize it was bad at the time. But then you see it now and you're like, oh, that was, how the fuck did I even deal with that shit? That was so terrible. There's something about Dreamcast. The game just felt vibrant.
No, there's some GameCube games that don't hold up. So, yeah.
Tommy says, crappiest games on the Switch look better than the worst Dreamcast games. I wouldn't say that because there's some pretty crappy games on the Switch. There's some pretty crappy indie games. I bought them for like 10 cents. They're like 15-cent games. You're like, oh, yeah, let me buy this.
Oh, God.
Pad out my collection. All right, moving on. We talked about this, and I brought this up when we talked about the Game Pass, but Microsoft confirms that the Game Pass cannibalizes sales. Xbox Maker tells UK GMA it expects titles to see a decline in base game sales for at least a year following inclusion into subscription service.
This started a whole stir of controversy.
Why is that?
Everywhere. because if you take this into account, that means Phil Spencer was lying. And it's a direct lie because he said the complete opposite. I think it was maybe just like a year ago. So
What did he say exactly? You got the quote?
I'll pull up the quote so I don't misread what he said.
Yeah, we don't want Phil Spencer giving you angry tweets.
Or Xbots coming after me.
You know, Phil Spencer is a big contributor to the show. Big fan.
He pays for my Gamepass.
Says the UK Competition and Market Authority provisional report on the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition includes an admission from Microsoft that putting games into its Game Pass subscription service cannibalizes sales of those titles. Microsoft also submitted that its internal analysis shows a redacted percentage decline in base game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. The CMA noted in its report. I don't like this right here one bit.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I like this? Because they redacted the fucking number. Okay? 0.01% could be in that space, which would be a fucking statistically, what's the word I'm looking for?
Anomaly?
No, irrelevant. It doesn't matter, right? Like,
okay, yeah.
So if it's a 10% decline, that's significant, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's 0.5% decline, that might be statistically insignificant, and it doesn't even matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that number is key, and not having that number really changes the whole article, the whole perception of what we're going, right? What we're basing it on this unknown number.
Mm-hmm.
What did they say on The Simpsons? Where he's like, "I'm going to donate a certain percentage to charity," and they're like, "What percent? 0? What? What? 0's a percent?" So, the confirmation runs counter to claims Xbox head Phil Spencer made in 2018 that Game Pass boosts sales rather than undermines them. Let's go to that link. It's probably the one you were looking for, right?
I found it, yeah.
What's the
title of it is Phil Spencer Game Pass leads to more game sales.
And what's the
website? Game Industry Buzz.
Oh, that's the link that they have in the article that I'm reading.
Okay.
And that was from 2018, though. That
yes.
Was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that far back.
It's been that long. I think we read this article too. Man, we've been doing this show forever. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. When you put a game like Forza Horizon 4 on Game Pass, you instantly have more players of the game, which is actually leading to more sales of the game, he said. Some people have questioned that, but when State of Decay 2 launched, you saw if you looked in the US and the NPD, you saw the game selling really well the month it launched on Game Pass. You say, well, isn't everyone just going to subscribe for $10 and go play this thing? But no, gamers find things to play based on what everyone else is playing. What's number one on Mixer? What's number one on Twitch? What's my friends list saying? What are people saying on Discord? They go everywhere to see. When these games hit something like Game Pass with all these players, it instantly raises its awareness.
Well, there's nothing number one on Mixer, by the way. That shit's gone.
Yeah. I think it's unfair to say that Phil Spencer was lying, because that was 5 years ago, right?
Yes. Yes. But there's a caveat, though, because I think if he was naming games that were more like indie games or like third-party games, they would make sense. But the claim that he's making is he's trying to point out that the first-party games are doing well, which within those 4 years, it's not. I don't think they did. I think we're going to look and find, because, I mean, yes, this is 5 years back now. But like Halo Infinite did not do well physically. It did better on Game Pass and digital. So
when did Halo Infinite come out?
That was 2021.
Okay, so that was 3 years after he made that statement.
I want to see all first party.
Didn't Halo Infinite have bad reviews and everything?
No.
That's the other. What was the Sure, wasn't that the one with the bad?
Halo Infinite came out. The multiplayer was
Which is
it
the one
had
with the
issues,
memes?
but
We had the memes.
it is Halo Infinite.
Yeah,
But
see,
Halo Infinite scored pretty good though. It was on a lot of Game of the Year lists, even though a lot of people don't agree with that. It's sort of fallen off, and there's been more controversy because they're just not updating the game. The features that were promised are not coming to the game, right?
Yeah, well,
Um,
they did good. It's like 87 right now on
yeah.
Metacritic. I just could have swore that it got roasted when it got released.
When it was first being revealed back in like 2020, it was getting roasted pretty hard because of that Craig meme, where it just looked like shit. The NPC.
The Simpsons taught me all my morality. Me too. Me too, Tommy. No, I think okay. So to be fair to Phil Spencer, who's a good friend, close personal friend, Spencer's son. Me and Spencer's son, we hang around with Shiggy all the time. But no, to be fair, I think there was less people who had Game Pass when he made that statement, right?
Possibly, yeah.
So I think when he made it, when they looked at it, like, oh, these people have Game Pass, they're playing. Other people are seeing that and they're like, oh, well, I don't want Game Pass, but fuck it, I'll buy that game because it looks good, right? Then eventually people were like, all these games are coming to Game Pass. Let's hop on the Game Pass instead of buying the games.
But
there's been a shift in how people buy games.
If that is true, why did he make the claim to begin with? Because
at the time it was true.
At the time, yeah. But okay, but hold on, wait. Because the thing is, like, yes, it is true at the time, but knowing why they got into Game Pass, because they were like, oh, we saw what Netflix was doing. And so they were like, hey, let's do this for video games. They should have known that eventually it's going to cannibalize physical sales or digital sales.
They did know.
Yeah, so him saying this to me is kind of almost like
it was misleading.
It's misleading, yeah.
Yes, but it wasn't a lie. It was definitely misleading. He definitely tried to spin the narrative that it was going to continue, and knowing full well it wasn't.
I want to see if he said other things too on top of this. Maybe not, because this is the quote that people are talking about.
Yeah,
but I feel like Phil Spencer, like for the last how many years, Phil Spencer likes to blow smoke up people's ass. Like he says, "Oh, this game is coming out," then the game doesn't really come out, right? And so, you know, I just think Phil Spencer, like, sure, Game Pass is cool. I like Game Pass, but he's not very truthful a lot of the times, right? He says, "Oh, these games are going to be coming out one after the other," and that was before the Series S and X launched, and that wasn't the case. I mean, we're still waiting for Starfield, and that wasn't even their game, right? They bought and acquired that game, right? So I don't know.
All I got to say is Phil Spencer, the views of Blinded do not represent this channel. We love to have you. Love you, Phil Spencer.
No, man.
I can't believe that I'm friends with Phil Spencer.
He doesn't even own an Xbox, doesn't have Game Pass, but I'm buddies with Phil Spencer.
Yeah, that's why. See, it's not a conflict of interest like certain people with the Amico.
Oh my god.
No. So yeah, as we all predicted, as anybody with a brain would have predicted, the longer that Game Pass was around, the worse it was going to hurt sales. Because hey, why buy games when it's on Game Pass?
Mm-hmm.
Especially because they last so long on Game Pass, and as games. Shorter games like a game like Stray that you can finish within a couple of days, fuck it, I just Game Pass, boom.
Mm-hmm. But more specifically, the Microsoft games.
Yeah.
Because there was a rumor, it got debunked, but they were gonna supposedly have Redfall be like a digital only game, so it wouldn't even come with a disc. And a lot of people believed it because in Brazil, they're going to stop physical games on Xbox, so it's only going to be digital.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because they don't really sell a lot of physical copies.
Well, there's a reason why they don't. Anybody want to tell me why physical games don't sell that well in Brazil?
I would assume it's because it's expensive.
Super expensive because of all the import tax.
Yeah.
So obviously Brazilians would rather pay the less amount of money, right? Because digital doesn't have the import tax.
But I mean, Xbox overall, like across the world, physical games for their first party doesn't sell well.
Yeah, because the same reasons, because the import tax, because we're Xbox.
In North America, it still doesn't sell very well. Right? Like, I don't know why that's the case, but like Halo Infinite 2 months after was on sale for whatever reason. And if you look at some of the charts, they don't even crack the top 10.
Well, that's because no one likes Xbox. Xbox sucks.
Well, people just play on Game Pass, and yeah,
they don't get the Latino discount. Not in Brazil. They speak Portuguese. They get the Portuguese discount.
Oh man. Yeah, it's. I don't know.
Haunted Whispers, Gary got pwned on social media over Castlevania 3.
Oh man.
Yes, he did. All right. We got one more article. Not really an article, but it's a little thing that I thought was interesting. So, Games Done Quick. They have the charity events. They do the speed running. They made a list of games that are disallowed, right? And they're updated. There's an updated list. I don't think this is the full list, but this is like the updated list. So games with ESRB rating of adults only, obviously, right? You know, it's a charity event. They don't want dirty games. It's fine. Any game that is prohibited on Twitch, again, because they're going to stream this stuff on Twitch, it makes sense, right? Air Control. I've never heard of this. Don't know why. America's Most Wanted. Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. I guess because it's a fan-made sequel to Barkley, Shut Up and Jam.
Okay.
The entire Five Nights at Freddy's series. Now you might be asking yourself why. Well, it says here, the following list of games have content, views, or an origin that we have deemed unsuitable for our streams. I wonder what that means. Are these games being disallowed because the guy who invented Five Nights at Freddy's has political views that they just don't agree with? Do you think that might?
It is. It is.
Frog Fractions.
Wow.
I gotta look this game up because if there's like some weird political view in Frog Fractions, or maybe it's just because it's a kids game. It says it's a web-based browser game by Twinbeard Studios, a company composed primarily of founder Jim Stormdancer. Edutainment. I don't understand why this game would be banned. Frog Fractions controversy. Could you imagine this controversy? Yeah, over some fucking edutainment game.
There has to be some. It's going to be something like it's.
There's actually a Reddit thread. One day.
No way.
Says, does anybody know why Frog Fractions was banned from GDQ? And it's locked. They locked
it. Oh my god! Now I need to look this up. Oh my god.
There's 257 comments. I'm looking. Spoiler for the finale of Frog Fractions. The last part of the game involves a parody of the Sumerian game, one of the first games of all time, but with bug porn. You don't ever see it outside of a joke in the end credits involving censors over images of bugs, but there's joke voice acting of lines from it. Oh, wow. So apparently there's bug porn.
Yeah, someone has an out of the loop thread on this game. So you know there's something going on.
Apparently it's bug porn production and sales. Apparently that's a thing. That's a real thing in Frog Fractions.
Okay. So it's an edutainment game, and then, but it has other elements too. Like it's a shooter.
now my web browser is going to be, because I put in frog fractions bug porn
Oh,
just to see what the hell it is.
you're gonna get some weird ass shit.
Yes. Let's see. What is it? I guess it's just some weird thing at the end, like some joke.
Huh.
Now my web history is now all fucked up. I just destroyed my web history. Thanks a lot, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you, frog fractions.
Well, also, why is God of War banned? Because like people in the thread are just saying, "Oh, it's because of the sex."
I think it's because of the sex scene.
Why? Oh, that's it's weird.
Harry Potter series, including Hogwarts Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
No, we know why.
And it's so funny because Hogwarts Legacy is the single most inclusive game I've ever played, hands down.
It's you don't understand. It's not inclusive enough.
It has a trans character in the game, in which no one makes fun of this character. The character is not evil. The character is not bad, and the character actually explains that they're trans. It's not even like they do it and they hide it. No, they're very open. That in a world with wizards and witches and warlocks and magic, that this person was born one way and then used not magic means to become the other way, and everyone's okay with this. And this is like takes place in like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a character that's trans. You could have a male body, because it doesn't even say it's like body 1, body 2, right? It's not even like male, female. So you can have a male body with a female voice that has a male wizard pronoun, right? So in the wizard dorm, or you could have a female voice or female body, female voice, wizard dorm, or vice versa. You can mix and match, and they refer to everybody by they them pronouns. No one's referred to as a he or she.
Goddamn. Well, still doesn't matter. J.K. Rowling, she said something.
Charity became political. It did. It did. Honey Pop series, obviously, it's porn. If you've never played a Honey Pop game, they're actually not bad. Like there's like the porn version, and then there's like the
regular.
Yeah, where you just date them, and there's like implied sex. But I mean, it's just a match 3 game. So it's not, Ion Fury. This game is banned over a joke.
Oh man.
Okay, so there's a product called Oil of Olay. We all know what that is, right? A little skin cream, get a little oil of Olay. So, as a joke, one of the bottles in the game said Oil of Ogay.
Oh boy.
Okay. Then, through people messing with the game, they discovered that there was a out of bounds text that said, and I'm only repeating this because it said FAG bag. I didn't want to say the word because I know one of you would have clipped me. And so apparently it means something different in other places, right? And so the developers are not English. They're not from America. They're like from some European country. So they didn't understand why people were upset when it happened. So,
oof.
But that's why that game's banned. Apparently, Kuro Vadis. I've never heard of that.
We're gonna look up all these games and figure out why they're banned.
It looks like it's a lewd game. It's a lewd game. See, I don't understand why. Okay, so this game would just fall into the category at the beginning, right? You don't have to name every single lewd game. Right? In this screenshot, I'm not going to pull it up, obviously, but there is a female being mounted by a dragon character.
Oh boy.
All pixeled. So my browser is now all fucked up. All these games.
They're gonna start recommending you weird shit now.
Iroko. I'm pretty sure that's probably some erotic game. Natsuru High School Senshin Hakusho, probably. Rocco's Quest. I'm guessing that's probably porn. These last games probably could have just been under the porn umbrella. We didn't have to name them. But the other ones, political. I guess your money's good unless it doesn't agree with us politically, right?
This Hogwarts Legacy stuff is really just absolutely outrageous. I really don't understand.
It reminded me of last night being blackballed. Still cry over that. Why was last night? What the hell is that? Is that a game? Or is that a film?
No clue.
I think that's a game. I think that was the last night. Yeah, that was that cyberpunkish game. And it had like a huge controversy because everything has controversy nowadays.
If a game doesn't have controversy, then it.
Oh yeah, okay. So, following the game's premiere during Microsoft's presentation at E3 2017, Tim Sorrent was noted to have previously posted statements around 2014 and since on social media that were seen as pro-Gamergate and anti-feminism. Man, we're never going to be able to make a game. Guys, we're just got to be able to separate art from the artist.
They can't do that.
Kind of an asshole, and I won't stop watching Spider-Man. He is.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Look. I understand if someone said, "Hey, let's kill all the brown people," right? I'd be like, yes, I probably can't support that guy, right? But if someone was like, "Hey, I think that maybe games journalists should be ethical," like, "Whoa, shit, that guy, that we fucking kill that guy. We don't listen to that guy." You know what? I think that perhaps men and women are not entirely equal. So, like, oh shit, cancel that guy. Like, come on. There's different levels of things, right? And you got to be like, hey, you could have different opinions. We have a political system that allows Democrats and Republicans to exist, right? You can't be like, well, if you voted Republican, you're evil. You're not allowed to do anything. You could vote Republican. You're just not allowed to make video games, TV shows, movies, YouTube channels, write, or say anything on social media. But you can still vote Republican if you want, right? Like, no, like, whoa, come on.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. Like, I just don't understand, especially with the Hogwarts Legacy. Like, why does it all of a sudden now to, like, why can't be the criticism aimed at J.K. Rowling instead of the people who
made the game,
buy the game? Yeah, made the game, buy the game. Like I understand. Like, okay, there's gonna be some people who are just like dickheads, or just like, I'm just buying this game just to fuck with everybody or whatever reason. Okay,
I'm gonna own the libs.
I'm at whatever, right? But like, it just seems like so like unnecessary. It doesn't even. It feels almost counterintuitive of what they're trying to do. Like, oh, you want obviously trans rights. I can understand that, right? But like, why go after people who just want to play Harry Potter? It's an established franchise. Like, why not be like, hey, instead of buying Harry Potter, let's support this other franchise because it's doing, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, and we like X, Y, and Z.
There is no other franchise. There's nothing else. It's all Harry Potter. Because Harry Potter was theirs, and J.K. Rowling betrayed them, stabbed them in the back.
And then I think she tried to clarify and kind of like backtrack what she said, because it's probably doing some damage, right? Which, yeah, right. So, and they still didn't really accept it. So it's like, so there's no winning here, right? It's like
none. David Levy, I agree, but also disagree with you, and I'll explain why. Let me read your comment. He says, I find the controversy surrounding some of these games ridiculous, but I don't blame the organizers of a charity event for wanting to avoid allowing said controversy to become a big distraction. I agree with it. However, this sets a very dangerous precedent, right? This means that whenever a game, anything, if a certain group of people decide that they don't like a certain thing that a person says, does, or believes, and that person makes a game, they'll make a stink and that game will be blacklisted. Oh, you made a game and at one time you said that women are not as strong as men. Well, now your game is going to get blacklisted and we're going to complain everywhere on social media. And if GDQ doesn't pull your game, we're going to attack them relentlessly. And they've already, once you bend the knee once, that's it.
But it's not even that controversial anymore. It could just be something very minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Like you bend the knee and all of a sudden now people are banning, oh, you can't play Marvel games because like somehow the characters represent fascism. And it's like, what? How did you get that claim? Yeah.
Remember the Spider-Man? You can't play Spider-Man because Spider-Man helps the police.
And
helping the police is bad because police, they're bad people. We don't need the police. I mean, if someone robs your house, you just tell them don't rob the house. Legally, they're not allowed to.
Most weirdest thing.
I've seen the weirdest thing that I've ever seen, right? I've seen someone post it. They said, well, if somebody robbed my house, they obviously needed the money. So I would just help them out to their truck because obviously they need the things more than I do.
Oh, that can't be real. No way.
Said, no way. Like, that's anarchy. It's just...
I really don't get it. Like, I don't mind, voicing the criticism, trying to find a solution, but it never feels like that. It just feels like, this thing is problematic, and let's just ban it, instead of being like, okay, well, listen, it's just Spider-Man, right? Maybe you should point it out and have a conversation. But like, why is this so now embedded into the review where now you're telling people don't buy the game? But it's like, it's Spider-Man. Like it has an appeal.
They don't like video games because that's one of the issues. Okay. One of the issues Gamergate had with games journalists is that they weren't actually video games fans, right? They were political activists who somehow became games journalists, and they didn't actually want to write about games. They want to write about political shit. And they just, because all they have available to them, because they can't get hired by the New York Times or the fucking, some other.
Yeah. Accredited. Yeah.
No, they're getting hired by Kotaku. They're like, well, fuck it. I'll use this Mario thing to tell you why socialism is great. Or I'll use this article on Spider-Man to defund the police. Like, that's what they think is, no, we don't like that shit.
Yeah, it just feels very disconnected, and it also feels disingenuous because like I really don't think these people care about both issues, to be honest.
I know Jet's right. He said, surprised BioShock Infinite and Wolfenstein isn't on there. I'm surprised all the BioShocks. There was a time when the BioShocks were getting lambasted because of Ayn Rand. This supports the crazy theories that Ayn Rand had.
That makes no sense. Oh God. Wow, so weird. Such a weird community. God Lord.
So GDQ is just it's becoming garbage. It's just like a limited run games, right? Yeah. They want to fire their community manager because she said some things they didn't like, they didn't agree with. Again, we live in a country that allows us to have freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, right? We don't live in a totalitarian society in which everybody has to think the exact same way. And I understand And sometimes things are mean, and sometimes things hurt your feelings, and sometimes you disagree with somebody, and you never get along with that person, right? But that doesn't mean that that person needs to be taken out of society because it hurts your feelings, because they don't agree with your opinion, right? Could you imagine if they did that to you? What if you were on the other side of it, right? What if you were the one who was going there? You were going, hey, I want trans right. And they go, hey, you know what? You're not allowed to say that. Get out of the country. And then they can kick you out of the country. You wouldn't like that. You'd be like, wait a minute, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. So maybe think. Maybe have a little empathy. Not everybody's the same.
I think people are just pretend to be virtuous. I really think so. It's just this whole game of like who can out virtue the other person. I'm a good person. Look, guys, I'm supporting this. It's like, oh boy.
Haunted Wiz says, I'm pretty liberal and I care about messaging, but what you guys are talking about has come home to roost on my fucking think tanks. Think tanks that don't want to have panelists with differing opinions. That's what I'm saying. I said that. I agree that blacklisting problem exists, but I don't think it's realistically possible for GDQ to counter it. Until it's addressed on a societal level, GDQ can only play the cards. They can. If GDQ puts their foot down and doesn't bend the knee, they'll give up. Because they've done it before. Other companies have done it where they're like, no, we're not going to give in. And once they see that they can't get their way, they move on to someone else that they can bully. Once you say no to the bully, you don't have power here, bully. Go away. There's nothing they can do, right? They've tried bullying me. They try to say, hey, Tony, you can't think like that. You can't say that. We're going to cancel you. Go right ahead.
You know, it's also, I know this may be a little bit different, but like I was watching, I think it was GameSpot's review of Hogwarts Legacy, and that was the weirdest review I've ever seen, because it seemed like instead of saying, hey, we disagree with the views of J.K. Rowling, it was like they embedded it into their dislike of the game and then rated it lower because they didn't agree with what she was saying, right? And it was like, well, what does that actually have to do with the game? It's like,
did you see the one from Wired? Forget that.
Yes. I did see that one. That one was ridiculous. Like that one, it was like an absolute farce, right? It's like at that point, okay, you didn't even play the game, you didn't even review it. Like, why bother? Like, why not just put out a statement? Right.
This review right here. This is why Gamergate exists. Okay, this is why Gamergate was a thing. This is why Gamergate was always correct. Okay? Review: there is no magic in Hogwarts Legacy. The game is mid at best, and its real-world harms are impossible to ignore. Guys, if you buy Hogwarts Legacy, trans person dies. Just dies. It's like it just disappears. It's like Thanos. You buy it and like.
Well, I think this review also goes a little bit more than just that. Like, I'm pretty sure they also talk about the whole anti-Semitic goblin tropes and stuff like that.
It says rating 1 out of 10. They got a little thing. A complete failure in every way is what 1 out of 10.
Yeah. Like this is just, oh god.
The only good thing is it helped me say goodbye to the setting for good. The bad things. The story is rooted in anti-Semitic tropes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. If you look at a goblin and go, Jewish person, you're the one with the problem, right? I've never looked at an orc and went, those are black people.
It's such a weird topic because I can I guess I can kind of see where someone would make that connection, but like the thing is, like, there's a lot of, I don't even want to say just story things, but like there's just things that are in our everyday life, like sayings and stuff that actually did have racist connotations, but it's like, well, we still technically use them because they've been so watered down. So it's like yeah, they're stuff like that, right? So I just think it's weird though that it's like, oh, because this thing has an origin or some connection, then therefore we need to criticize the whole thing instead of being like, hey, maybe we should kind of figure out how to use this going forward instead of being like, no, we can't use it, because it's like everybody knows goblins, right? It's like, especially in Harry Potter, right? Like a lot of people like that aspect, right? And we're not talking about it's only the white neo Nazis like it. It's like no, there's a lot of people who grew up on this as a kid and enjoyed it.
A lot of neo-Nazis out there. Some of them aren't white. No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. If the goblins were solely bankers who liked money or money grubbing, and they celebrated Hanukkah, and they had like they were just like completely Jewish characters, right? And I'd be like, yes. But if you play the game, there's goblins that are just like normal people, right? Just like they're not bankers. They don't work for the banking. They're just, and then there's other goblins. The whole point of the game, I don't know if you know this, spoiler for people who haven't played the game, but the goblins, the reason why that the goblins are rebelling is because they want to start a workers' revolution. They feel like they're being taken advantage of. And it's more of a socialist thing, right? which is not Jewish at all. Like, I don't think the Jewish people started socialism. So it's like,
well, they kind of did, but yeah.
Oh, I mean, Jesus told you to love everybody, treat everybody as equal. So I guess.
Well, I mean, like in history, like in there's a lot of Jewish people in Russia and stuff like that, and we won't get into that. It's a whole history.
The gameplay feels dated. It doesn't. The gameplay does not feel dated at all. The graphics feel like they're a couple of generations behind. What sort of bullshit is that? It has ray tracing. It's fucking beautiful. It has a performance mode and a fucking what the hell they call it? Looks mode. I figure what they.
Yeah.
All the characters are one dimensional. No, they're not. This is 100% not true. A lot of the characters are fleshed out really well. Some of not all the characters. Obviously, they're not going to spend time with every single like classmate that you have, right? But the characters that actually matter are all fleshed out pretty well. It doesn't stay true to established lore. I can't speak on that. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, so this could be true. It could not be true. I don't know. Every character feels like an off-brand version of the characters we know and love. Well, I mean, the characters from Harry Potter are all based on tropes anyway, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, like, there's probably going to be other tropey versions of characters that are, like, similar. So, there's no sense of place. I don't know what that means.
Is it referring to the open world?
It just says there's no sense of place. It's as a statement.
Yeah, it's just...
And it says no magic, no heart. There's tons of heart. I mean, fuck. There's so many moments in the game.
Like, I just don't understand why put out a review.
Because they wanted to make a political statement and they wanted to bomb the game. They wanted to give the game a 1 out of 10 so that its Metacritic score would be brought down because they thought other outlets were going to do the same thing.
I really don't even mind if they put out a political statement. If you don't want to buy the game for whatever political reason, I'm not really going to hold it against you. But I feel like it's like this tug of war that it needs to be like, oh, if you support this game, then obviously you're a bigot, instead of being like, hey, well, like it's the most simplest thing. It's pure entertainment, but man, this is such a mess. Like, this is why I don't even want to touch it, because it's like you say one thing and people just like are gonna like take it apart and be like, oh my god.
You're on this show.
Oh my god.
David Levy says, as a Jew, I'm offended. How dare you deny my goblin this time?
Oh my god.
Hunter Wiss says, yeah, they kind of did. The Bolsheviks. Okay. Fair enough. There are a ton of people that worked on Hogwarts Legacy that probably completely disagree. They actually did. There's a lot of people that came out and said that they disagree with Rowling. And so just by association, their work isn't being evaluated fairly. That just sucks. Yeah, it does.
It does suck, yeah. Especially when it is promoting fairly progressive ideas. So it's weird that they would come out and trash it because of one kind of nuanced conversation. I don't understand.
Okay, so let's read this. It starts off, yikes, y'all. Yikes. I don't even smoke, and I feel like I need a cigarette before I get started.
Oh, good lord.
We're here to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. And to do that, we need to discuss the whole mess. What mess? There's no mess. You're making the mess. You can't piss on the floor and then talk about the mess that's there, right? Like, hey, did you
Mm.
see the mess? Yeah, because you pissed on the floor. Pull up a chair, pour yourself some tea, wrap yourself. I hate tea, by the way.
Well, that explains a lot.
I don't like the aftertaste. Like it goes down, it tastes good, and then when you stop drinking it, then you get that after. I don't like it.
Mm.
Wrap yourself in a blanket, scream into a pillow, or the abyss, because this one's gonna take a lot out of both of us, or get heavy. Ooh, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. Hogwarts Legacy is a third-person action RPG set in the same universe as the classic Harry Potter series of children's books. In case you need a refresher, those books, the Wizarding World setting, and the Harry Potter franchise are all the intellectual property and brainchildren of author J.K. Rowling. This is important because she's always been inseparable from her work and from work that she's inspired and licensed, for better and now mostly for worse. Nothing with the Wizarding World stamp on it can be viewed outside the context of it being a product of Dame J.K. Rowling, CHOBE. I don't know what those other initials are. Any idea?
No idea.
No idea. Within the pages of her books, she made the ordinary seem extraordinary. She created a place where weird, lonely kids would be told they were special, where kids who had survived abuse were more than just fundamentally broken. Since 2019, though, the once beloved children's author she's had some opinions. There's some links, 2 links.
Do they explain the reason? Because that would be really. I would say that's not a good look. If they don't explain why.
Well, it's linked to a Vogue article and a link to an NBC News. Let me see. J.K. Rowling doubled down in what some critics call a transphobic manifesto.
That's not a good explanation. I think if you're going to write a piece like this, you should probably explain her whole position and critique the issue with it. That's why you don't want people to buy this game, right? So why skip over that?
Because you should just know that J.K. Rowling is a bigot. And if you don't know that, then probably you're a bigot too.
That is definitely a terrible mindset. No wonder why this boycott failed. I mean, boycotts usually don't work, but
boycotts never work.
Yeah.
J.K. refused fantasy. What the fuck did J.K. Rowling say she didn't want trans chicks in the bathroom with her? No, I believe. No. I believe that she said that women are women and men are men, and that women's sports. She said, in essence, and I'm paraphrasing, that trans athletes should not be in women's sports.
Well, I think there was also too. She's a turf.
Well, that's what they call her. I don't think she calls herself that.
I don't think she calls herself, but that's essentially boils down her argument is that she feels that trans women diminish the value of actual women's accomplishments.
And their it's not just their accomplishments, but it's their struggle, right?
Yes. And
not to get into the whole muck of it all, right? But as far as the sports things go, I 100% agree, right? Because you're born a certain way, right? And you can deconstruct gender all you want, you can blah 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 all you want, but you know, if you're born biologically male, you have certain hormones and certain chemicals going through your body at certain rates that people born biologically female don't have, right? We have hormones and chemicals at different rates. And because of this causes people born biologically male to develop bones and muscle mass in different ratios than women or people born biologically female, however you want to refer to it, right? And so if you have 18 years of this and then you transition to the other side, right? Then you end up with a situation where like Farron Fox nearly beat someone to death in the octagon because they said, hey, let's put this trans athlete in with an actual female. Let's let them beat each other up, right?
Yeah, I mean for me, I think it does depend on the sport.
No, it's all sports because obviously tennis you're not going to beat someone up, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, we've seen Serena and Venus Williams, who are considered two of the best female tennis players of all time, right?
Hmm.
They got beaten by a ranked 300
Yeah.
male
Male,
tennis
yeah, I
player.
did see that. Yeah.
And that just tells you the level of difference, right? We've seen female soccer players, Olympic gold medalist soccer players, females being beaten by 15-year-old boys. And that's just beaten bad.
Hmm.
Like we're talking like 9-0. Like they had to hey, end the game because you're getting your ass whooped so bad, right?
Hmm.
Because again, it's just the level of athleticism, right? This has nothing to do with people's intellect, has nothing to do with
Hmm.
people's worth, their value, their contributions to society. None of that. Just has to do with their physical makeup and their physical prowess based on chemicals and chemical reactions that the body does during puberty. It's just
Hmm.
that simple. And if you want to have a third category, if you want to say, hey, male sports, female sports, formerly male, now female sports, trans sports, whatever you want to call that category, that's fine.
Yeah. I think also the issue is that they represent a very small community, so there's not even a lot of them. So I think that's why they also are like, well, we should consider mixing them. I mean, I think there is a potential solution if you have it separated, but people acknowledge the difference. So then it's like, well, if you're willing to play, then you should just, you know what I mean? Like you can go to this tier or you can go to that tier. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you split it in half, and then everybody knows, okay, there's some uh players that are trans, right? So they may be at an advantage compared to you, right? Or not. So I mean, yeah, I think it is I do kind of feel bad about it, where it's like, yeah, I can kind of see like if you're trans and you want to play, right? And so I think definitely needs to be like worked out somehow. But like again, the conversation like this is usually all muddy and mixed, and it doesn't usually make sense. If you say one thing, you're labeled a bigot, and it's just like, man, this is not useful at all.
Yeah.
Like the
Well, they should just, in my opinion,
mm,
they should just have. I already didn't think that female and male sports should already exist, right? Unless it's a
mm,
contact sport in which people are hitting each other, right? Like boxing or UFC or football, right?
mm,
We shouldn't be separating them, right? Just the best athlete is the best athlete, right? We
mm,
separate them because, and again, this is no slight on anybody, but it was separated. Women's sports were invented so women could win, right?
mm,
And that's so. If you are a male that transitioned, you should just be in men's sports. And if you're a female that transitioned to men, we're also going to put you in men's sports, right?
mm,
So it should just be female sports and everyone else. How's that sound? 2 categories: female, everyone else.
mm,
You still get to compete because that's what it essentially boils down to, right? It's not about winning. You're not like, oh, I transitioned so I can win, right? You just want to compete, and you want to compete
mm,
at the best level you can. So why not compete with the men? That is the best level there is. Problem
mm,
solved. We're not saying you're not a woman. We're not saying you're not valuable. We're not saying you don't exist. We're not saying that you're not worth as much as other women. All I'm saying is you want to compete with the best. There you go.
mm.
I think that's a solution. It's the same way with the bathrooms.
Potential.
When it
Yeah.
comes to me for the bathrooms, it's a real simple solution. No longer gendered. We'll just go genitals. You got a dick, you go in the dick bathroom. You got a pussy,
Well, I think that
go in the pussy
I
bathroom.
think I think that I mean here I've seen it where it's like they have 3 washrooms, so or the person could just pick. But
No,
I
I
mean,
mean the whole issue, right? Where people were like, "Oh, I don't want men in the women's bathroom, and I don't want women in the right."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you get a dick, you go in the dick bathroom. You got a pussy, you go in the pussy bathroom. That's simple,
Mm,
right? And the whole issue of, I don't want my kids seeing. Your kid's going to see trans people exist. They're going to be out in the street,
Yeah.
human schools. They're going to be walking around. They're going to buy groceries. They exist. There's no getting around it, right?
Yeah. And also too, I think a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, there's a lot of people you can't even tell are trans sometimes, so it's not always obvious. But yeah, it is a small, very. I mean, it's a very small group, but there's just like, and I understand all the concerns and stuff, and I'm really not against it. Like, I don't really see the need to be against it, but I just think that all of this stuff with Hogwarts Legacy is not really doing what a lot of people think. It's doing like, oh, if we don't play this game or we're trying to boycott it, we're going to send a message and stand up. But it's like that can work in a situation where it's not a product potentially. But when you have it where it's like, okay, it's Harry Potter, there's so much, feelings and emotions for it, and people will buy it regardless. It's like, why not just target J.K. Rowling and forget about the art itself? Because the art it's not even like the art is promoting her views in some sense, right? And also too, you buying the game, it's not like it's contributing to something that is like massively terrible, right? It's like, oh my god, we're funding her Holocaust or something crazy. I mean, I know that's exaggeratory, but you get my point, right? Like, you're just funding her bank account, right? And it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's got to be a little bit more than just that, because we feed people's bank accounts that do terrible shit too all the time, right? So, not saying that it's right, but kind of have to acknowledge that, find a different solution.
Here's the thing. If you're going to boycott something that's actually evil. Don't just boycott something because you don't disagree with somebody.
Yes.
When it's a good product, right? And I think that's... Rowling has said lots of things, many of which are rooted in misconceptions on her part. E.g., that acknowledging the existence of trans people is tantamount to denying the existence of gay people. She means well, but she's too insulted to recognize her own knowledge gap. This has always been an issue with her writing. She's ignorant of cultures outside the UK, but she doesn't realize it.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
it's a weird thing, and I've had this issue too. Like, older people, right? They've grown up a certain way. They've thought a certain way. It's hard to change your thinking. So you got to understand where they're coming from and where they, not to give them a pass, not to be like, oh, it's okay. But, like when your grandma's a bigot, right? You're like, oh, grandma grew up in a different time, right? Like still love grandma. She's a nice person. She's a little bigoted, but it's okay, right? Because that's how people were back then, right?
Sure. True. But also, to add on, I feel like an article that we just read, that article should have, like I said, explained what the problem is, instead of being like, she's a bigot, fuck this game.
Because Gary, because blinded. I don't know why I called you Gary. I'm just so used to Gary weighing in on this issue that it's just...
I'm like the total opposite of Gary on this topic, too.
Yeah, because... The thing is, if they said what the problem was, if they actually admitted it, then people would see that it wasn't actually that bad. That's the thing. They don't want you to know. Look at all the articles. Like, go back and look at articles on like Gamergate or like Trump or like Dan Crenshaw, right? They're like, he's a Nazi Dan Crenshaw, right? And they're like, what did he say? Well, they're not going to tell you what he said, because if you read what he said, you'd be like, oh, this is not a big deal, right? A lot of people would be like, oh, this isn't that bad. Right? So they need you to think that. They need to put the idea, she's a bigot. We're not going to tell you why she's a bigot, because if we told you, then you might not agree with us. Right? Yeah. If somebody says the N-word, you don't hide it, right? You don't like, oh, he said something evil. No, you be like, here it is. He said the N-word, right? Because you have the proof of it. But when someone says something that maybe isn't so bad, but you want people to think it's bad, that's when you don't show it. Gary's phone should be at 13% by now. I don't know. He's still probably mad. Speaking of charging, my fucking controllers for the PlayStation 5 will not charge. These motherfuckers, I have them plugged in and they get the yellow light and it looks like it's charging. And then I wake up in the morning and there's like no fucking battery.
God damn.
I don't know.
Wait, do you use for the PlayStation controller? Is it the USB-C that you're charging it, or are you charging it through the A port, the one above? If you know the ports names.
The bigger one.
The bigger one, yeah. Maybe you should charge it through the other one.
But I don't have a thing that goes into the other one.
You might have to get one because it's probably going to charge it faster, and it'll probably just be better overall.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's probably the issue. All right, we're going to go over. We didn't go over the mailbag last week because we had a guest. So we're going to go over last week and this week's mailbag, or whatever you want to call it. Not mailbag, but our weekly
mailbag is max.
Yeah. I'm all fucked up. But before we get to that, I wanted to show you this video because, good Lord, I would have shit myself.
Oh, I seen this one. Oh, this was all over Twitter.
Look at that shit.
They're fucking huge.
I mean, just look at that. I can't even tell if this is one snake or like four snakes.
I think there's 3 of them. Whoa, wait, hold on.
I don't know if it's wrapped, if it's like so long that it's like curled up. Like look, because it pulls one, right? Boom, and then it comes down. You can see it's like curled up.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's maybe 2.
No, it's 3. It's 3.
No, because that's a front and that's a back.
Oh, that's the front. That's the back. Okay, yeah.
So there's 2. There's at least 2 of them because there's 2 tails there.
And it's long as hell. Jesus.
So fuck all that. I don't know where you live that you have giant snakes just like in your ceiling like that.
Yeah, that's disgusting. They must have snuck in or some shit like that. That must be like.
Look how big that thing. That thing ain't sneaking in anywhere.
Well, it's like in the
front door
room.
was like
The front door.
Go to your ceiling now. We're like, fuck yeah, you are Snake.
God damn.
No way that thing snuck in.
Well, I mean, like snuck in through the roof.
Hey, might sneak in. That motherfucker just walked in.
God damn. Imagine just stood up, walked in the house. That would be terrifying. I'm not even scared of snakes.
That's
Open
not
up the door.
That's like a fucking serpent. Eat you. All right. Here we go. So 13 days ago, I was on the lovely Blinded Braille podcast. Fixing Phase 4. Look at that. Brilliant.
I hate Phase 4. And I hate Phase 5 too now.
It just hasn't it barely started?
It started and it's already terrible.
You're like one movie into it. You're like, this is shit. This is fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, it was. Ant-Man was worse than everything in Phase 4. Okay. I'm telling you, it was. Ugh.
Okay, I did try the members mailbag thing, and I only got 2 questions. One was, hey, how many games did Gary beat? And the other questions was, where does MJR theme song come from? I don't know. I don't think he stole the theme song. All right. So the first question was, would you buy an Amico game collection if one came out for modern consoles? 32% said yes. 68% said no. I would actually buy it just to play it.
Oh, no. Oh, hell no.
You wouldn't?
Nope.
Hulk's pythons were bigger. They were 24 inches.
It would have to be dirt cheap.
Well, here's the thing. We're like Slope said, we're in a unique position, right? If I didn't have a YouTube channel, if I didn't make videos, if I didn't do live streams, if I didn't talk about games, if I was just a normal person, no, I wouldn't buy it. No. But because I know that I can make a video on that. Look, guys, I'm playing it. Like, you would expect me to buy it, right? If the Amico system, the Amico collection came out, I would have nothing but comments. Are you going to play it? Tony, when's the Amico stream? The games came out. Tony, when are you going to play the Amico games, right? So let's not pretend like I don't have an incentive.
True.
So,
But for me, the games just never looked appealing. I was shocked that they could sell that and people were hyped. It still blows my mind. It's just mind blowing.
They were the greatest games ever made. By Tommy Tellerico. That's it. Are you still on the 52 games in a year challenge? Put your number of games in the comments. So 18% as of 11 days ago, we're still in. 82% we're not. This is 33 votes. Finbar says, I'm out. Shit got in the way. I'll do it next year, I promise. CM Retro says, my goal for each year is between 12 and 24. As of today, I'm at 13.
Damn.
One Inch Biceps, I thought about keeping track just to see my average would be. Duckman hit 4 yesterday, completing Mole Mania for Game Boy. So that was 11 days ago. Blinded Braille said technically 6, but High in Life glitched at the end, so I'm 5 games in. That's a tough one.
Glitched.
That's a tough one.
But I beat 6 games now.
Why don't you
I'm
just
on
go
my
back to an earlier save point?
Well, one, I can't because that's not how the game works. And 2, I'm pretty sure that this is just going to affect my console in general. So even if I started a new save, it got to the point, it would still do it because that's what I was looking up, and I heard people just had that same issue. Start a new file and then same glitch.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And the devs, they said like a month ago they're going to patch it, and nothing came. So, yeah.
Andy Author says, I wasn't in from the beginning. I have a full-time job and an elderly mom to help out from time to time, so I can't invest that kind of time into playing video games. Don't get me wrong, I love video games, but the time factor is an issue. Well, you just play shorter games, right? Some of the games I played, you could beat in 4 hours. 56K Warning says, no, I've jumped on to playing games I find interesting and finishing them challenge. I forgot what I said last time, says Justy Views. I think I'm at 4. Evil says, I can't be there since you've discriminated safe state users. And Hammock Man was at 4. So there you go. I'm at 8 currently right now. You said you're at what, 6, 7?
7, yeah.
So I think I'm in the lead as far as people on the panel. All right. Which Hogwarts house are you? Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, or none, I'm not a dork. Surprisingly, 96 votes, 53% are in the none, I'm not a dork house.
I mean, you gave us the option, so I picked it.
Ravenclaw and Slytherin tied at 14%, Hufflepuff at 11%, and Gryffindor, which is a surprise. This is the main house. It's the Harry Potter one, 8%.
It's kind of lame, though. It's just generic.
Is it? To go back real quick, 100 Wiz says, I would buy it, but I don't get too deep on the social media aspect of YouTube. And Forgotten Horse says, I would buy it if it came out with Cloudy Mountain and Night Stalker. Save states matter. Justice for evil. Yeah. I think I'm in the none. I'm not a dork house also. But if I was forced to choose out of the 4, I would obviously go Slytherin because they're smart. They're autistic. They have no empathy for anybody. They're not. I don't understand how that house exists. Like, if you really look, like, this house was started by the evil Nazi wizard who hates all the other wizards. They're like,
jeez.
Like, maybe we should stop having this house. All the bad guys seem to come from this one house. Perhaps we should just get rid of it. But they don't. All right. the PSA that Hogwarts Legacy was getting spoiled by SJWs reading the ending. Babies.
Unbelievable.
Should I stream more games using my quote unquote real voice? 64 votes. C got 78%. No got 22%. So I guess I'm gonna have to do more streams using my real voice and stuff. So it's gonna be like interesting when I make streams, but it's gonna be okay.
You gotta play it up.
Yeah. All right. Did you enjoy the 4 hours DJ Slopes Intellivision Amico video? 62% said yes, 11% said no, 27% actually hadn't seen it yet. As of did you watch the whole 4 hour?
I have not watched the full 4 hours now.
How could you not? They give a huge shout out to the channel.
I'm still watching it. I took a break and then I forgot. I need to go back.
You gotta go back. Or just watch the watch long that me and Hammock Man have been doing.
Also, too, I haven't found a game where I can listen and play because I'm playing Ace Attorney, so that's also the reason.
Yeah. We did 3 streams. We did 3 streams on this 4 hour video.
I saw.
We're only like 2 hours in.
Insane.
It is. Well, because there's so much. I mean, he put in so much. He put in 4 hours worth of content, and then at the same time, we're like, there's actually so much more in between content that he missed. Now, I'm not gonna say missed, more like
not relevant to the
not necessarily relevant or not. You know, he didn't want to like really attack anybody or be like, look at these shills, these fucking assholes, right? But we're okay with doing that. So
yeah, this is the asshole channel.
Yeah. Can the Intellivision Amico make a comeback? 153 votes. 18% said yes. 82% said no. Man. No love for the Intellivision. After Phil Adams made those 3 significant deals with 3 significant companies for mid 6 to 7 figures?
Absolutely not. No.
There was actually people questioning my integrity and saying that I made up the emails, that they were fake, that someone faked them, they weren't real. You could ask No Square Gamer. I sent him unredacted copies of the emails. They're 100% real. Again, whether or not you believe the information in them, whether or not you think that Phil Adams is lying or not, does not mean that the emails are not real or that they don't exist or they weren't a thing that happened. All right, who will be the last Amico shill standing? DJC, Mullis, Geeks with Cash, Rad, or Slider? Which is
we all know. We all know who's gonna.
126 votes, 74%, overwhelmingly said DJ.
I mean, he's the one who's neck deep in this shit.
I actually don't think it's going to be DJC. I think it's going to be Mike Mullis. Mike Mullis.
Oh, man.
Because he loves Tommy. I love you, Tommy. Love you, Tommy. I could see DJC because DJC is already slowly getting rid of the Amico from the show. Even though it's Amico Forever, he's like, oh, it doubles as friend forever. And he's doing other content. And now he's doing like a homebrew show or something. And I think slowly but surely he'll eventually pretend like the Amico doesn't exist, where Mullis will always be like, fuck those haters. They ruined it. And I love Tommy.
Insane.
He actually, Mike Mullis actually was on Twitter and he said that, let me pull it up.
You're gonna, yeah.
Because I don't want to misquote because I've been accused of lying, being a liar and a harasser. Insane. Me? Little old me? What are you laughing at?
Nothing.
I don't believe you.
Where's the tweet?
What?
I thought you were going to pull it up like super fast.
No,
you had this shit saved.
I did. I had to go over to Discord, copy the link, and because Mike Mullis has me blocked on Twitter, now I have to take the link and open up a guest tab and put the link in the guest tab, which I'm doing now. And then I have to go back over here to StreamYard, stop the screen, and I have to share the new window, which is the tweet. Blinded is cheating on Tony? Is that
the infamous giggle?
So this. What are you doing over there? So this is the thread that started it. Significant deals my ass. Bill Adams, an unprofessional sludge. Wow.
Wow.
David says, how did Amico have a comeback? It never ever came.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What were you laughing at? What are you doing over there?
I'm laughing at you and your comment. I laugh at everything. Okay.
All right. So UK Dazarus, streamer, host of the Dazarus something or another, he tweeted, he goes, one for you, NLG Mullis. And he tweeted the 4-hour, the Amico scandal video. Here it is. So Mike Mullis says, I'm good, thanks. I'm quite enjoying playtesting this system, and anything labeled quote-unquote scandal, I have zero interest in. So Dreadpool says, most don't know what they are talking about. Others are butthurt. Who's butthurt? The Amico. And some that did have fallen into drama for clicks. No thanks. I know what it is and what it isn't. Don't need someone to try to quote-unquote save me from quote-unquote evil, whatever. I've had experience with it and love it for what it is.
This is copium. Oh, my God.
Yeah. The video isn't even about saving anybody. It's just like a documentary of like, here's the thing starting and here's where we're at now. Mullis goes on to say, the title is pure clickbait / attention bait. The sources for the video are nearly all people who have spent considerable time lying and attacking the company and attacking and helping dox people who are interested in the system. As I said, I'll pass. I have no time for that crap. This is 100% bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Mike Mullis is a fucking liar. Mike Mullis is a fucking idiot. Okay? If anything, I was the one who was doxxed by the motherfucking CEO of the goddamn company. Okay? I had a picture passed around of my brother because the CEO thought it was me. Okay?
Sad. Just sad and pathetic.
Sad and pathetic. That's who was getting doxxed. The people that were getting doxxed were us. Okay? And secondly, Retro Bro, Smash JT, they were shills and they helped with this, right? So if you were going to say they spent significant time lying, yes, it was true because they were lying for the company significantly for a long time.
Mm.
All right. Mr. Matthews says, I watched the whole thing. It was honestly the fairest and most respectful take on Amico I've ever seen. In 4 hours, he didn't utter a negative word for either the supporter or the detractors. Mike says, cool. I'll still pass. I have no desire to watch a 4-hour video on something I have my own information / subject matter knowledge with the title The Amico Scandal. Hope the guys get all the clicks and attention from the crowd he is looking to excite with that title. And to be clear, there was absolutely in no way, shape, or form a good reason to make that video with those people involved at this point in time. It was made for clickbait and made to specifically get traffic, nothing more.
Wait, so did he watch the video then?
No, he didn't watch the video.
How does he know?
Because just having me and Smash and Retro Bro and Review Tech USA involved in it in any shape, way, or form means it's evil and tainted and bad. Because we're bad, evil, tainted people. Don't you understand that?
I understand.
Silent fucks, holy fuck, give a fuck for a fuck, that's fucked.
For someone who says he doesn't care, he went on a long tweet thread.
He did. He cares. He knows that it's exposing. It's exposing his bullshit, exposing his stupidity. This is the motherfucker that covered the Phantom console as if it was a real goddamn thing and then acts like that's something to be proud of. Guys, I covered the Phantom and I treated it like it was a real thing. That's something to be proud of, stupid? You dumb fuck. It was-
Damn.
the Phantom Console is like one of the biggest scams out there. Like, it made claims that it was going to do shit that it was like literally impossible, that it in no way, shape, or form could do. And they also had a phony, fake fucking prototype that they brought to E3, and they were exposed. It was almost as bad as the Coleco Chameleon, except for it wasn't based on an old system. Tell how you feel, Kermit.
Tell it how you feel.
This Twitter thread makes my belief in my Mullis vote on your survey that much stronger. Yeah.
No, man.
What can I say? Sometimes I get a little.
That was an epic heated moment. Fucking hilarious.
Not heated. It's just frustration. Get a little frustrated. Anyway. Do new reviews of retro games matter anymore? 90 votes. 62% said yes, it's about the reviewer's opinion. 38% said no, they've been reviewed to death. I'm on the fence on this, right? Like, there's so many reviews of older games, like pre-SNES games, even SNES, like, you know, that era 16-bit. I didn't say like pre-PlayStation 1. There's so many reviews on those games, right? That it's like a drop in the bucket if someone made a review on it, right? But at the same time, I can understand the idea of, well, it'd be interesting to see what Blinded thinks about like Mega Man or Metal Gear, the original, right? So I'm on the fence.
different perspective, I think, is key. Because if it's just a person who's played the game and knows the game, then revisiting it, I don't know, 20 years later may not matter all that much, because we already know their opinion on it. So it has to be like, oh, I've never played this game, or like I haven't played it since I was a kid, or something like that, right? Yeah. I don't really mind new reviews for old games. I think it's interesting to look back and see if a game aged poorly or didn't, even though it's like considered a classic, right? It's not like a movie.
Because a lot of the older reviews are like all the same too. It's like we were talking about this the other day. Like, how much can you really say about like Pong or like Adventure, right? Like, here's the details on it, and then they're like, oh, it's fun, right? Like, there's not much to the game, so there's not much that can be said. So there's not much difference between one review and another. So it's like, do I really need another Space Invaders review?
Probably not. No. Those games definitely, it wouldn't work. Yeah.
Haunted Wiz says, you guys hear about the AI going fucking nuts with people on the Bing beta? I did not.
No. What the hell was that?
Reason why I bought Pat's book? Because you didn't want the Brett Weiss experience. All right. And this was the members only poll. Do you want more Amico content? 9 votes. 11% said doesn't matter. 33% said no. 56%, so about 5 votes, I would say, said yes, more Amico. That's why this Wednesday we're starting a brand new show, Forever Amico, every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We're going to be going over DJC's Amico Forever show. We're going to be mirroring Amico Forever. That's why we're Forever Amico. We'll tell you all the good things, all the good news, all the bad news, answering all your Amico-related questions. We might have some Amico-related guests on the show. It's going to be fantastic. Are you ready for that, Blinded?
I'm definitely ready.
Blinded's going to be eating on every episode.
Oh, God, no.
Mandatory. Full
I don't know about
on
that.
camera. Full meals. Like mukbang. It's going to be like Amico mukbang.
Oh, no. If I did that, I would get roasted in real life, because they would see me as the new Nick Avocado, my friends. Oh, boy.
Finally, A&A is back. Getting the band back together. The reviews I really like recently are Patman QC with his comparisons of classic arcade ports across all hardware. Now that's different. Like that would be a new angle. I could see, like, say, okay, we're gonna look at all the versions of the game.
I feel like Angry Video Game Nerd did something like that though.
I think No Square Gamer does something like that too.
Each version. Yeah.
Let me see. So we're bringing it back. I'll put the background on. Hold on.
Ooh, it's all black.
Stop sharing. Remove blinded.
Removed himself.
Well, I had to. I had to show the logo.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you see the logo? It's back, baby. Let's see. Put it up in the corner. Bam. Amico no access. It's gonna be back in 2023.
This is all classic.
We're going classic. We're going old school. Let's all listen to Rex Viper. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So David says the Amigo is the gift that keeps on giving. Had it actually been released, it never would have provided anywhere near as much entertainment. But Sweet counters by saying, actually, the reviewing gameplay footage from the shows pretending to have the time of their life would be great.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like if it came out, it would have just kept going. Because you have to remember, this was going to be, like, the games were legitimately shit, okay? Like, let's keep it real. It did not look good. Yes, I don't need to play the game. I could just look at it and be like, oh my God. I wish it released. That would have been, I could only imagine. It would have been hilarious, entertaining. It would have just kept going.
It would have never ended.
Until it, like, completely failed and flopped.
Yeah. So we're coming back. ANA, Amico no access. We're gonna get the music going. What was that? There was a picture not too long ago that Finbar did that had all the Amico people, all of us.
Where was that picture?
You didn't see it? I think it was in the group chat.
I didn't see that one.
Was it in the group or was it in the? Did he send it to me privately?
Because I need to see that.
Let me see. Let me pick this up. Fuck, now I gotta find it. God damn it! Why doesn't Twitter make it easy to find shit?
Yeah, because Elon Musk and everybody who came before him.
Like, I want to just be able to easily, like, boop, there it is. All right, so here it is. Here's the picture of the official ANA.
Let's see this.
You ready for it?
Oh my God.
We got the $1 Million Mad, Tony TGT, the Giant, Ninja Kitty, Hollywood, Hammock Man, the 123 Kid, Finbar Saunders, of course, Big Sexy Barmany TV, the Bad Guy, Gary OCG, and rounding it out is my man Blinded Braille.
We gotta put this as the banner.
We're getting the band back together this Wednesday.
Hopefully.
It's gonna this Wednesday. It's gonna be me in the chat because no one else can.
In the chat. Oh man.
Yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Ant-Man was shit. That's it. I'll keep saying that. Do not watch.
But what about Rama Tut?
Ass. Complete ass. Oh my God, that was the worst part of the movie. I don't know what people are smoking. Terrible. If you need to watch it on Disney Plus. Do not pay to see this. The Last of Us is great though. I can't wait for tomorrow. Ant-Man was really bad, I'm telling you.
Have you been watching The Last of Us?
Of course. Last episode was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Wasn't the last episode about like the gay couple or something?
No, that was like 2 episodes ago. This one is when they finally got to the bloater, Sam and Henry. Bloater. You know the bloaters in the game? They're like
I've never played.
Yeah, okay. So they're basically they're the oldest infected, like they have basically armor on them from all the years and years of the infection, the fungus taking over. So they throw spores at you in the game, and they're kind of like bosses. But in the first game, I think there's a section where they throw maybe like 2 or 3 at you. So, but in The Last of Us 2, they're pretty hard. They're probably like the hardest enemy in the game. But in the show, it was this epic moment where so in the game they have the sniper sequence, but they changed it for the show where now it was just like this whole horde of just clickers and runners and the bloater attacking they're not a militia group, but they were sort of like a coup that rose up and took down Fedra. You need to play The Last of Us because you're not going to understand a lot of stuff. But the action was great. The character stuff was great. I mean, I even felt the ending with Sam and Henry was a lot more impactful than the game, even though it's very similar. So yeah, I love the show. This might be like one of my favorite shows. And obviously I love the game. So yeah.
All right. Well, don't forget this Wednesday, Amico Forever is going to have a mirror show called Forever Amico.
The following announcement has been paid for by the Amico No Access.
This Wednesday. And with that, we're out of here. Love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.